We are live. How is everyone doing? We are live. It is Saturday night. This is Impact Wrestling Under Siege. We're doing an Impact Wrestling watch along for. First of all, I should probably start off with this. Obviously, we do a ton of Impact Wrestling content here on the channel. We do loads of Impact content, and it's something that me myself, as we've built up this community and as we've built up this channel here, I'm very proud of the Impact Wrestling content we do. And the reason I do it is, one, I'm an Impact Wrestling fan. And the whole thing about this community is that we build up and we talk about all of the pro wrestling that we enjoy, whether that's WWE, whether that's AEW, whether that's Impact Wrestling, whether that's whatever. It's all about enjoying pro wrestling here on the channel. But I have, in the past, got some messages from some people saying, "No, why'd you cover Impact Wrestling so extensively?" And the simple reason is because it's a good product. Impact Wrestling's a really good product, and especially over the course of the last, I would say, 2-3 years, especially since we've had the Scott D'Amore and Don Callis era, Impact Wrestling's product, I think, significantly improved, and year on year it's shown a steady stream of improvement. And you look at some of the major rosters now throughout, whether it's WWE or AEW, the amount of Impact Wrestling alumni that are on these rosters at the moment, it frankly is quite incredible. It really is quite incredible. So that's why I cover so much Impact Wrestling content here on YouTube, because I'm a fan and it's a great product to watch and it's really enjoyable. And it's something that I do want to do here on the channel much more often. And you can let me know in the live chats. If you're watching this on demand, you can let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. I know there are lots of channels that do here on YouTube, lots of watch-alongs and then lots of post-show reactions. And I still think, this channel has only been around for about a year or so, 18 months or so. So we're still kind of finding our feet here on YouTube. But it's something that I do want to do more of. Obviously, we do watch-alongs for all major pay-per-view events, WWE and AEW. We're going to be doing a watch-along tomorrow for WrestleMania Backlash. So be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Click the notification bell. You'll be notified when we go live. And we'll be doing a post-show reaction stream as well. But I'm thinking, and you guys can let me know whether you would be open to this, I'm thinking of doing reaction streams for all of the major shows, so possibly Raw, possibly SmackDown, and if you do like your Impact Wrestling, I'm thinking of doing an Impact Wrestling weekly reaction stream. I don't know necessarily what that will look like, because it's quite difficult over here in the UK to watch Impact Wrestling live. That's quite difficult. So I don't know how necessarily I'll do that. But if you guys are into that, you can let me know in the live chat if that's what you're interested in. But let's move on to the reason we're all here tonight. Let's move on to Impact Wrestling Under Siege. Now, before we go through the matches, because we're about 25 minutes or so before Impact Under Siege goes on the air. It's not live. It was taped as part of the tapings that took place several weeks ago at this point. How Impact Wrestling works, if you're not really familiar with their taping schedule, what Impact Wrestling tends to do is they tape all of their content month to month, essentially. So they'll do a month's worth of tapings of television for Impact Wrestling on Access TV. They'll also do, if they don't have one of their quarterly pay-per-views, which of course is hard to kill, Impact, Rebellion, Slammiversary, or Bound for Glory, what they tend to do is they tape these specials, like Under Siege, these Impact Plus specials, as part of their television taping. So, essentially, this was taped a couple of weeks ago. So, whilst I don't think there are spoilers out there, just be careful if you're doing a bit of searching on Google tonight for Impact Under Siege, because you might see some spoilers out there. But I see what in the chat. We've got a couple of people in the chat. So before we go into predictions, because that's why I always start a bit early, because I want to talk about the show, get a bit of a preview going, get some predictions, get some chat going in the community, all of that kind of stuff. So let's check in the chat, because Shark Boy said so. Love that. Shark Boy said so. That's a nice Impact Wrestling throwback. Give me a shout yeah in the chat if you're enjoying that. Said tonight's the night, and that's the fishing line because Shark Boy said so. That's a great account name. Ace Austin is better than you, says, quote, I don't know why I'm saying quote, says, it's time for Ace Austin and Madman Fulton to go after the tag titles. I hope they win it soon. That's my prediction as well. We'll go on predictions in a second. Andrew Pollard says, hi, Owen. I think more post-pay-per-view reaction streams. Well, that's what I'm going to be doing, Andrew. I'm definitely going to be doing more post-pay-per-view. It's more the case of post-TV shows. When it comes to Raws, SmackDowns, Impacts, if that's what you guys want. Again, this is all about the community here. We're all about coming together, sharing our opinions on pro wrestling, what we like, what we don't like, and all that kind of stuff. That's really what we want to do here on the channel. So Richard Cartledge says, what Vultures and Crapaholic both do watch-alongs for pay-per-view that the E puts out? Yes. I have seen that. Andrew Pollard said, would be awesome. Melinda Ford says, hey, Owen. She also said, first time here, welcome. Richard Carter says, if they want, you might be able to do a crossover with TNI on their watch-long review. I do not. This is the thing. People assume that I'm really familiar with the pro wrestling other communities here on YouTube. Obviously, you know the sort of big names, but I think it's important. Obviously, it's important to sample lots of other people's products. Obviously, it's important to do that, and especially to network and all that kind of stuff. But I do like to just sort of focus on what we do here as a community, because I think it's important that your opinions aren't swayed from other people, and I think that's important. That's why sometimes with social media, obviously people love social media, and you can use it as a bouncing wall and as a voicing wall for opinions and discussion and all that kind of stuff. You also have to have your own opinion. I think that's really important as well. Anyway, if you are new to the channel and you are excited for, if you're excited for Impact Under Siege tonight, smash a like on the like button. Really does help us out here on the watch longs. Go up into people's recommendation feeds and all that kind of stuff. So if they haven't seen our channel before, if you smash like, that really does help us out. If you are also new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We do daily videos talking about all things WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. If it's got pro wrestling in the title, we will talk about it. We do daily videos talking about all kinds of news for all the different promotions. We also do watch longs like this, where we watch it in real time, react to it in real time, and we do post-show reaction streams as well. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Super chats are also open tonight. You can do that by clicking the $sign. It's the best way to support and contribute to the channel. So if you do have anything to support the channel, click the $sign. It's greatly appreciated, along with your comment as well. We'll make it a talking point. We'll talk about your comment or your opinion here on the channel. That's what it's all about, guys. I know I say it over and over again, but it's all about opinion. It's all about opinion, people voicing their opinions, and not having to worry about voicing their opinions. Sometimes the worst thing, isn't it, with pro wrestling, social media, and I mean, if we've got time, I will go off on one when it comes to pro wrestling social media at the moment, because there's been a lot of badness when it comes to pro wrestling social media at the moment. But here on the channel, you know, if you've got an opinion, share it. And we're not going to, there's no judgment, there's no any kind of stuff like that. Why would we want to be doing any kind of stuff like that? It's about sharing opinions, reacting to them, having open up discussion forums and all that kind of stuff. That's what's great here on the channel. So we are about 20 minutes or so before Impact Under Siege goes on the air on Impact Plus. Now, if you haven't subscribed to Impact Plus, you can do so. Obviously, they have their monthly specials and pay-per-views and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't, be sure to subscribe. Also, you get access to the archive of Impact content, which I was watching today. Going back throughout the years, watching some of the TNA Impact archives is a lot of fun. It's not fully complete, though, which is a bit frustrating. But they also have a ton of other stuff on there. So, and also, if you're a fan of Impact Wrestling, it helps support Impact Wrestling, of course, as well. So that's great, too. So let's get into the card. I did a predictions video, but if you haven't seen it, we'll go through predictions now, because also as we interact with the live comments as well, you can say your opinions, your predictions, and all that kind of stuff before we go on the air for Impact Under Siege. So obviously the first match, we have the #1 Contenders tag team match. Now this is just my prediction. I mean, I don't know how these matches are going to actually line up on the show. I don't have any information about anything like that, so I don't know. But obviously we have the Impact tag team title #1 Contenders match. The tag team division in Impact is quite interesting right now. Obviously, you've got the tag team champions being New Japan Pro Wrestling stars Finjuice. And obviously, I think at some point, whenever they drop the tag team championship, there's a high chance they drop it to the Good Brothers. The reason why is because the Good Brothers are two of the biggest stars in the Impact Wrestling roster. They're on two of the biggest contracts on the roster. The two very well-known names. They're former Impact World Tag Team Champions. At some point, they will win the Impact World Tag Team Championships back, just because they will. And I think the Impact Tag Team division is kind of looking to rebound after losing the North last year. Make no mistake about it, losing the North was a really significant loss to Impact, just Impact Wrestling in general, but obviously the tag team division. They were the longest reigning tag team champions in the company's history, one of the best tag teams to ever grace Impact Wrestling, TNA, whatever you want to call it, any iteration, any era. They were one of the best tag teams to grace that, and I think right now Impact are kind of looking to seed that division once again, try and build it back up. Now, the reason why I'm going to go with my prediction here when it comes to these tag teams, whether it's XXXL, Rohit Raju, Shira, whether it's TJP, PT Williams, Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, I'm going to go with Ace Austin and Madman Fulton to win. because realistically, out of those teams on the screen right now, that's the only team I can see as being legitimate tag team champions. I look at Ace Austin and I say, is he going to become the Impact World Champion anytime soon? I would hope so. I mean, Ace Austin would be on my short list of names that could dethrone Kenny Omega. Maybe not at Slammiversary, maybe at Bound for Glory, because I think Kenny Omega's holding the title until Bound for Glory anyway. So Ace Austin would be on my short list, but between now and then, you still got to build him up, right? So I look at this list of people here, and I say, well, who actually could become the tag team champions legitimately? Who could become the tag team champions here? And for me, it's only really one team. It's Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Obviously, it works out well in terms of being a heel tag team in Austin and Fulton, and a babyface tag team in Finjuice. Of course, Finjuice aren't defending the titles tonight. They're involved in the six-man, so you would think that the tag team title match happens at Against All Odds next month. So that's an interesting match. And obviously, when it comes to Finjuice, I mean, they've got to drop the titles not relatively soon, but they've got to drop it at some point because they're not Impact contracted talent. They're contracted to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it feels inevitable they will drop it, I would say, in the relatively near future, whether that's Slammiversary. Slammiversary, I would say, is the end point. Maybe before then, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to go with Ace Austin, Madman Fulton to win this one. Next, we have Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. Now, what I will say about this card, and I'm kind of jumping around all over the place here, but for a Impact Plus event that's set to go, 2.5, 3 hours, there's a lot of matches on this show. There are really a lot of matches on this show. I think, is there 9 matches? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 matches on this show, which says to me, I don't know if a ton of matches are going to go a real length of time. There's got to be some matches that aren't going to be particularly long here. One of them, I think, the short match is going to be the W. Morrissey match. I think is going to be a shorter match. But you look at that card and you say, well, some of these matches have to be short because a 9-match card across 3 hours, especially considering the main events will probably go at least 25, 30 minutes. There's an interesting dynamic there, isn't there? There's an interesting dynamic. Anyway, Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. Of course, Black Taurus is part of the Decay. When it comes to the Decay, look, I'm a fan of the original of anything. So obviously I prefer the original version of the Decay, Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and Abyss. Of course, Abyss is now with WWE. Chris Parks, backstage producer extraordinaire. So we've got Black Taurus in here. Brian Myers, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Brian Myers. I was a big advocate when he was released from WWE last year that he went to Impact. Obviously, he has history in Impact Wrestling, former TNA World Tag Team Champion during the GFW Invasion days. And I'm a big fan of his because, but I'm a big fan of his because I always felt that obviously he had history with the company. And when you ever hear him, any podcast he does or anything like that, the guy's just a fan, isn't he? He's just a fan of pro wrestling. And whilst he obviously was very happy to be in WWE, and I don't think it necessarily matters to him about winning or losing or anything like that when it comes to Brian Myers, I think when it comes to him, he just wants to work matches. He just wants to wrestle. And that's why I felt that Impact was the best move for him, because he wants to wrestle. He wants to have good matches, and that's all he wants to do. So I'm glad to see him in Impact and his success. Got to go with Brian Myers in this one, although I could see a scenario Black Taurus just beats the tar out of him. But I think Brian Myers wins here because I think, as far as I'm aware, Brian Myers, I don't know his contractual status. This is the funny thing when it comes to Impact, isn't it? Is that some of these talents aren't actually signed. They're on per appearance deals or they're on short-term deals. You never know. Black Taurus, I don't know if he's signed either. It's a very confusing time when it comes to contracts and Impact. I'm going to go with Brian Myers, though, to win this one. Let's move on next. We've got the Knockouts Tag Team match. We'll double-check the chat before we move on. Ace Austin says, Impact is my favorite wrestling company of all time. I can say they have me as a fan forever. Andrew Pollard says, post-show streams too. Cool. Ace Austin says, last time I got W. Morrissey's Impact debut spoiled. The rumors everywhere with wrestling news. It's weird because it was hours before the pay-per-view started. Yes, and that was live. Darth4 says, Ace and Madman. Ace is a future star in Impact. Ace Austin said, Impact's tag team division unfortunately got destroyed out of nowhere with the Motor City Machine Guns breaking up, the North breaking up, and the Dean is breaking up. Absolutely. Richard Cartlidge says, do you think we might end up with Deonna and the Women's Tag Team Championships as are the only belts that Impact holds? Possibly. Ace Austin is better than you. Oh, carry on. Hivation says, what's up, Owen? Hivation, how are you doing? Welcome. Ace Austin's better than you says, especially since that would make Josh Alexander reign as X Division champion completely disrespected, just like Chris Bay's short reign for a month. So we've got loads going on in the chat. If you do want to interact with everyone, get involved in the chat. Really appreciate that. If you're excited for Under Siege, smash a like on the like button. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner if you're new. So the tag team match here is Taylor Wilde, Tenille Dashwood versus Kimberly and Susan. Obviously, Kimberly and Susan are Deonna Purrazzo's sort of minions as she dominates the Knockouts championship scene, or just the knockout scene in Impact Wrestling in general. I really want to single out Taylor Wilde here, because Taylor Wilde, since returning, somehow, some way, since she's returned and come out of retirement, somehow, bear in mind she retired in 2011, by the way. So we're talking 10 years ago she retired, and this return to Impact has been on the cards for a while. It was planned in 2020 prior to the pandemic. The pandemic hits. Obviously, she's in Canada, so the issues come with that. Then it's planned for the end of the year, but because traveling over from Canada, because of the pandemic, because of visa issues, delays or whatever, finally, she's in Impact Wrestling, and somehow, after 10 years out of the ring, somehow she's better. She's better than she was when she left. And talk about history that she has with Impact Wrestling, from a Knockouts champion, from a Knockouts tag team champion in Impact Wrestling's heyday, in its peak on Spike TV, having matches against the likes of Gail Kim and Awesome Kong. Taylor Wilde was a big part of that, and somehow, some way, she's even better. She's even better, which is crazy. Which is crazy how she's even better. I always find that, like, and it's been a real pleasure watching her return to Impact. I really think that she's better than ever, and it's has to be leading to eventual Taylor Wilde versus Deonna Purrazzo match. Surely, right? Surely. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo, I mean, we'll touch on her in a second, but just I'll talk about one of the top female wrestlers in the world right now, Deonna Purrazzo. Absolutely outstanding. When it comes to Kimberly and Susan, I'm a fan of Kimberly. I think she's perfect in her role as sort of the backup to Deonna Purrazzo. Susan, I mean, we've seen Susan since just sort of post Bound for Glory last year. I mean, they did the Su Yung title change with Deonna Purrazzo at Bound for Glory. Then they had Deonna Purrazzo win it back the following month. Was that Turning Point? And we've seen sort of Susan ever since. Kind of feel like it's getting a little bit played out at this point. And I don't know what they do with that. Do they switch her back to Su Yung? Do they switch her back to Susie? Susie was kind of a playoff of Kylie Ray, so I don't know how they do that necessarily. It's a difficult one, but I do feel like this Susan iteration is kind of getting played out. A little bit. So I feel like they need to maneuver to some kind of different character. What that would be, I don't know. I really don't know. As far as a prediction, I think Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood win this one. It makes sense that Taylor Wilde continues the momentum. Like I said, I think she ends up facing Deonna Purrazzo at some point anyway. Let's move on, because I've got to talk quick, because we've only got 10 minutes to go. I mean, we've already been on for nearly 20 minutes. Time flies here on the community for Wrestling News 365. Next, we've got Willie, Mack, W. Morrissey. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think W. Morrissey gets the win pretty decisively. Obviously, the guy looks fantastic. He's in arguably the best shape of his life. And that's in so many different facets. That's not just physically. I think he's in the best shape of his life, mentally, emotionally, you name it. He looks like he's got those past addictions and issues and demons that he had under control. They look to be in the rearview mirror, which is great to see. And I've said it time and time again, if you're getting a sound body and mind version of W. Morrissey, Big Cass, whatever you want to call him, he's a major player for Impact, and it's a fantastic signing. It really is. WWE saw the potential and talent in him. They were having him feud with the likes of Daniel Bryan on WWE television just after Daniel Bryan returned out of retirement. That's how much they saw in him. And Impact realizes that if we're getting a really solid W. Morrissey, we're getting someone that can be a big deal for us. Pun intended. He's 7 foot tall. You can't teach that. So I think so far he's been great, and I think tonight he dominates Willie Mack. Don't really know what's going on with Willie Mack right now, in the sense that I know his contract is coming up this year, but I don't know if he's re-signed, what the deal is with there. So but either way, I expect W. Morrissey to get the victory here, and pretty convincingly as well. Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. We have Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering defending against Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz, Fire, and Flava. Now, I would have said, and when I did my prediction video, I really, really nearly said that I felt we were going to see the Knockouts Tag Team Champions retain here, because why wouldn't they? They only just won the championships a couple of weeks ago. But we did hear that report, didn't we? We did hear that report that Impact had possibly planned a title change at the most recent set of TV tapings, but we didn't know if it was going to happen or not. We didn't know whether it was going to happen or not, and it wasn't too sure if it was still planned. So I'm going to and this is probably the worst thing to do, but I'm going to go with that report was accurate and say that I reckon this was the title change, and they wanted to hotshot the Knockouts Tag Team Championships to build up some momentum. What I will say is, though, in the same vein that the tag team division in Impact Wrestling, the male tag team division, possibly got destroyed with all of those tag teams breaking up, I think the Knockouts tag team division looks really strong right now. You've got Jordynne Grace, Rachel Ellering. Of course, Jordynne Grace just re-signed. You've got Fire and Flava. You've got Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood. You've got Kimberly and Susan. Possibly the Iconics as well in the future. That's exciting as well. So we've got some really exciting talents coming here. So I'm going to say the Knockouts tag team titles changed tonight. We've got the X Division Championship, Josh Alexander going up against El Phantasmo. This should be a real fun match. Clash of Styles, El Phantasmo, if you haven't seen him before, New Japan Pro Wrestling star, really has impressed since going into the X Division as part of the working relationship Forbidden Door with Impact Wrestling. So this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. As I mentioned in the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, I think the outcome is relatively straightforward in the sense that Josh Alexander has just won the X Division Championship. So I don't see a scenario why he would lose it so quickly. And I think the X Division Championship might serve as the catalyst for Josh Alexander to get into the main event, specifically to get an Impact World Championship opportunity. Josh Alexander was one of those names that I shortlisted, could defeat Kenny Omega for the Unified Impact World Championship. Why? Because he's got the X Division Championship, the option C. He could use the option C and possibly challenge Kenny Omega, Slammiversary, Bound for Glory. Maybe he's using the X Division Championship to get him ready. It's Impact Wrestling's version of the Intercontinental Championship, getting them ready to go into the main event scene and challenge for the World Championship. So I see Josh Alexander winning this one. I think this one could be a sleeper for the match of the night. That's very exciting. Knockouts Championships on the line. We have Deonna Purrazzo going up against Havok. I think, again, this one's relatively straightforward. I think Deonna Purrazzo gets the victory here. I think it's an interesting match for her to go up against Havok. The thing I will say about Deonna Purrazzo is, for me, she is up there in the conversation right now as one of the best female wrestlers on the planet today. And I know some people might roll their eyes at that, but let's be honest. The work she's done since going over to Impact Wrestling has been second to none. As every day passes, you just look at it and you go, I can't believe WWE let her go. I cannot believe WWE let her go. The talent she has, the matches she has been having, whether it's against Jordynne Grace, whether it's against Su Yung, whether against Jazz, whether it's against whoever, every single match just seems to knock it out of the park. Incredibly versatile, on the microphones, got a personality as well. Impact Wrestling know the talent that they have there. That's why they're building the Knockouts division around her, and I don't expect her title reign to stop anytime soon, especially not tonight. I think the earliest is Slammiversary, possibly against a former WWE superstar that comes over, whether that's a Mickie James, a Chelsea Green, or one of the members of the Iconics. I think that's the earliest point, but I can see her holding it till Bound for Glory or whatever, and there's not a problem around that at all. Not a problem around it. So Deonna Purrazzo retains for me tonight. Six-man tag team match. This is an exciting match because it features three different promotions in one match. You've got the Unified Impact World Champion and the AEW World Champion and the AAA Mega Champion Kenny Omega teaming up with the Good Brothers to face Eddie Edwards and the Impact World Tag Team Champions of FinJuice. You've got New Japan, AEW, and Impact Wrestling all in one match. If you told someone that in December last year that you would have an Impact Plus event that had stars from Impact, AEW, and New Japan in one event, people would have slapped you around the face and said you're stupid and sent you to the funny farm. They really would. But that's what we're getting tonight. Now, I think the obvious outcome here is probably that Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers win. I think that Kenny Omega pins Eddie Edwards. That's why I think Eddie Edwards is in the match to take the pinfall. I think the fact that the Good Brothers are in a match where they defeat a team of FinJuice opens up the possibility for them to get another Impact World Tag Team Championship opportunity. And I think that maybe opens the door for them to win the Impact World Tag Team Championships again. But possibly FinJuice do have to deal with Ace Austin and Madman Fulton should they win the match, which is what I predict. So I think Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers win this one. And then, of course, you've got the main event. You've got the six-way number one contenders match. The winner of this match becomes the number one contender for the Unified Impact World Championship. You've got Moose, Trey, Miguel, Mack, Cardona, Chris Bay, Sami Callihan, and Chris Sabin. Very excited for this match. My prediction is Moose for this one. And I know some people might say, well, isn't he meant to be leaving? Isn't he meant to be leaving? Or isn't his contract set to expire next month? His contract is set to expire next month. And Moose has said that his aim is to win the Unified Impact World Championship before his contract expires next month. Do I think Moose is going to stay with Impact? I think it's up in the air. I'm still leaning to no, because I think the radical improvement we've seen in Moose over the course of the last several weeks leads me to think that he will be heading to either WWE or AEW, although that's not confirmed by any stretch of the imagination. We don't know. I'm going to say Moose because I think it leads to a Moose Kenny Omega match in June, which would be against all odds. I think it's for the Unified Impact World Championship, and I think they will do a career versus title match, which Kenny Omega will win. It will facilitate Moose's exit from the company for now while they figure out what to do with his contract, and then possibly, if he resigns, he can come back, maybe challenge Omega at Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, something like that. Because for me, if Moose signs, he has to be the guy to beat Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship. He's just that good, and his improvement has just been that good. So that's what I think is going to happen there. About 3 minutes away from Under Siege going on the air on Impact Plus. I was like rapidly having to get through that at the end. I mean, I could just talk forever. I really could talk forever. So we're only a couple minutes away from it going on the air there. So I'll go through the chat, since I sort of missed so much there in the chat. Get up where I go to. Steve G says they need to bring back Su Yung and get rid of Susie. That's kind of what I touched on there. High Nation says, I think Kalisto is going to sign with AEW. He is great friends with Pentagon and Rey Fenix. Imagine the tag team. They would probably have triple tag team bouts, which AEW needs. I think they possibly were going to do trios titles. It was something that was being discussed prior to the pandemic, so I think their plans are in place for that. Hivation says, any updates on Tegan Knox? As far as I'm aware, still out with the injury. Steve, the Woodcarver Druid, says, the shit start yet? Not yet, Stu. It's still a couple of minutes. Let's see what we say. It says here, Chauncey says, shock the system. That's the wrong brand, but sure. And the rest carries on. Nathan Wallace says, Ohio Owen Wrestling News. Nathan Wallace, baby, the wrestling traveling man in the house. So Nathan's in the house. Welcome. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We talk about all kinds of different promotions here, whether it's Impact Wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We post daily videos talking about all of these brands, all of these promotions. So there's a bit for everyone. And also it's just about talking about pro wrestling here on the channel, building the community. We've got a great community here. And we talk about, like I said, all forms of pro wrestling. And that's the real great thing about here on the channel, is that it's all about opinion, and it's all about sharing your opinion, and it's all about voicing your opinion and not having to worry about judgment or anything like that. We've got a great community here on the channel, and we do a load of Impact content. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we're about 30 seconds away from going on the air for Impact Under Siege. So if you are excited for Impact Under Siege, smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Got the rankings, get into people's recommendation feeds. Let's do a quick check to see how many subscribers we are on. So we're currently on 3,492. So let's see if we can get to 3,500 before the show goes off the air tonight. We only need 8 subscribers to hit tonight's goal. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and see if we can get to that 3,500 goal tonight. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. So Impact Wrestling Under Siege is just about to start. We are mere seconds away. Let's just hope that Impact Plus doesn't go down or anything like that, because it's slightly notorious for that, I must say. I remember I was watching Slammiversary last year on FITE, as we're just about to start. I was watching Slammiversary last year, and I think it was during Heath's debut. Just my FITE TV just went down, just stopped. It was a nightmare. Like literally on stream. I think it was my first watch along stream I'd done here on the channel, and it dropped out, and I just didn't know what to do. I was panicking. I was like, oh god, I don't know what to do. But we are on the air right now. We're doing the cold open right now for Impact Under Siege. Just trying to get this up so I can make sure I can still see the live comments. There we go. So they're doing the cold open right now, obviously hyping up the main event, which of course is the #1 Contenders match to determine Kenny Omega's next opponent. You can let me know in the live chat who you think that will be. There's a rumor about Impact Wrestling returning to live touring very soon as well. There's rumors about Impact wanting to have television tapings in Las Vegas, which is interesting considering that WWE are also talking about possibly hosting SummerSlam in Las Vegas. Obviously, Impact Wrestling are hearing the same thing. Under Siege is officially underway. I like the whole camouflage graphic and all that kind of stuff. So we're officially in the Impact Zone with Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown welcoming us to Under Siege. And it looks like we're starting off the show with Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. So an interesting match to start this off. Here comes the most professional wrestler himself, Brian Myers. Obviously facing off against Black Taurus. Brian Myers as well, obviously he doesn't have it now. He used to come out with the whole Brian Pillman cane thing. And that's because he was a fan of Brian Pillman. He doesn't have the cane anymore though. But here is Brian Myers posing to the hard camera. His entrance music's badass. It really is. Hivation says Moose going to win or Sami Callihan. Interesting. It's Primlani says Moose, Moose, Moose. I'd hate for him to lose, that being Moose. Ace Austin is better than you says I think Sami Callihan will win because Sharkboy said so. Said Moose is probably winning. Total Impact Figures says hi everybody. How you doing? Total Impact Figures. Welcome to the stream. Hivation says Matt Cardona is just there like Trey Miguel, even though Miguel has won some great matches lately, but he isn't quite ready. But great job on Impact pushing him. James House said it started. It has, James. Indeed it has. Total Impact Figure says, I think Moose or either Sami Callihan will win, but Matt Cardona or Chris Bay is a definite possibility. Huge Chris Bay fan I am. Massive Chris Bay fan. Hivation says, hey, let's go. Hivation says, subscribe, Owen. One of the best updates on Impact or AEW, even WWE. Please be a part of the family. Wrestle News. Exactly, Hivation. Appreciate the shout-outs. Ace Austin says, better than you says, wait, what's the first match of the night? Is it the Brian Myers match? Indeed it is. John says, any free streams out there? Man, I can't advocate that. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that nobody has said the... we always get this in all of the watch-alongs we do of going, show the show. Or show the matches. It's like, I don't have the rights to do that. Come on. Steve G says, I think Andrade's next Omega's opponent. He will be in AAA. He's also had talks with AEW as well. Darfor says, Bay will pin Cardona, and that can start a feud with Cardona and Moose. Interesting. Well, the Decay are in the ring right now. Black Taurus, Crazy Steve, Rosemary. Black Taurus his mask is just wild, isn't it? It's absolutely wild. iFast with Bradley says, Owen, what's your connection to United Stand? You were excellent on it, but seemed a bit random. I'm just a fan, and they do great content. Draw T, Mark, everyone there, Flex, great, love United Stand. And if I get asked back to do any fan forum stuff like that, more than happy to do that. Obviously, life gets in the way. We all have real jobs and stuff like that. But it's obviously a huge Man United fan. Hivation says Black Taurus has a Keith Lee style. He's very energetic, Owen. So the match is officially underway. We've got Black Taurus and Brian Myers at collar and elbow tie-up. Black Taurus just shoves Brian Myers into the ropes. Hopefully we do get fans back on Impact Wrestling Television or just Pro Wrestling Television in general. Rosemary's got a tarot card in her hand. Well, I mentioned about the fans as well. Is that if you're from the United Kingdom or if you're from the UK, you would know that today we had the FA Cup final over here in the United Kingdom, and it had fans back at a sporting event. Really, not for the first time, but one of the first times in that capacity, and it was just awesome. And pro wrestling is just exactly the same. Once we get the fans back regularly, it'll be great. But Black Taurus did a float over. He's going to go for a sort of pump handle backbreaker. Nice. Brian Hebner gives it a 2 count. I always just sort of think, how does Black Taurus wrestle in that gear? That mask must be so tough. I suppose it's similar to Luchasaurus mask. It's just a bit more encompassing, doesn't it? It's a bit encompassing. Darthor says fans at Slammiversary would be great. Hivation said Owen should Ricochet and Murphy join NXT again. Well, I think definitely Ricochet should, but I don't think he will. I think it's relatively obvious, isn't it, that Those in WWE have their opinion on him, and that's it. Brian Myers, though, is now in control. He's got Black Taurus. He's working on the arm. Black Taurus, wow, bounces off the middle rope and a flip. That man of his size being able to do that is pretty incredible. It's unbelievable. Brian Myers kicks out at 2, though. Now he's going to roll to the outside. And he's calling a timeout. Brian Myers calling a timeout. It's, Black Taurus is arguing with the referee in the ring. I don't know if Brian Hebner speaks. Oh, Brian Myers just right hand to Crazy Steve. Wow. Oh, Brian Myers just shoves Black Taurus into the guardrail. Now he's going to go on him. How has Brian Myers got the advantage here? There's 2 people at ringside, and he's beating the numbers game. That's why he's the most professional wrestler. That's what he does. Brian Myers posing to the hard camera, posing to the fans at home, because there's no fans in the arena. Now Brian Myers boots the Black Taurus. Ace Austin says, how do you make your background? Is it a green screen? No, I'm actually sitting in front of camouflage. This is all real. This is all real back here. No, of course it is. Yes, it's a green screen. It's green screen done by magic. That's how it works. As Brian Myers gets the boots to Black Taurus's head or mask. You do wonder when they do these sort of. I used to always think this with like Kane. When Kane used to wrestle in like the 90s for WWE, when you're doing right hands to a mask, like surely logic is that doesn't hurt the guy that much. They've got protection on the face. Surely that hurts the opponent. You're punching material. You're punching hard material. Surely that hurts. But Brian Myers is in control now. He's got a rear naked choke on Black Taurus in the middle of the ring. Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown, of course, are on commentary. Big fan of their commentary pairing. I think they do a really good job, and I do prefer them to Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne. Josh Matthews certainly divided people. And Brian Myers is choking Black Taurus over the bottom rope now. While he's on the outside, he's going to go back in the ring. I Fast with Bradley says, did they approach you at random, or do you know a guy who knows a guy? I know I've obviously know Drawty and Mark and all that kind of stuff. They're all great. They're real great guys, and obviously the United Stand community is amazing. So, like I said, it might go back there in the future if stuff comes up. Who knows? As Brian Myers is now on Black Taurus and some big knees to the back. And once again, he's got a submission on Black Taurus, working over the jaw of him, it would appear. Surprised how much offense Brian Myers is getting in terms of, I wouldn't say he's dominating Black Taurus, but certainly he's got a lot of submissions, rear naked choke. He's been working over the body parts. Sound psychology from the most professional wrestler in Brian Myers. He just pulls Black Taurus's hair, smashes him to the floor there in the ring. Steve G says, where is Swan? Did his contract expire? His contract hasn't expired as far as I'm aware. I think he's just off television selling his loss to Kenny Omega. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes back with the next set of TV tapings, which they are filming next week, by the way. They're filming 4 weeks worth of television and against all odds at the next set of television tapings, which is next week. So that's what they're doing. Brian Myers' right hands to Black Taurus. He's now got, once again, rear naked choke. I mean, you can do a lot of rear naked chokes when there's no fans in the arena. If there's a lot of fans in the arena, they'll let you know they're not a fan of the rear naked choke because it's not 1975. Hivation says, Owen, what if Andrade appears after Kenny Omega match at Double or Nothing? Possibility. He has had talks of AEW. Andrade could absolutely go to AEW. I think a lot of people expect him to be honest. So Brian Myers got Black Taurus in the corner. He's going to whip Black Taurus across the ring. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Black Taurus did a sort of escalera springboard off the top rope. I mean, for a guy of his size, I mean, the athleticism that he has is pretty incredible. We're going to see a replay of this. Bang. Just escalera. And it's kind of, it's a forearm. Or it's a crossbody forearm. That kind of jump off the top rope. Pretty incredible, Black Taurus. Was it Hivation said here on the chat that he's got a similar style to Keith Lee? Absolutely. Absolutely. He's a big man, can do incredible things. The Impact Wrestling ropes as well, they're cables in Impact because only WWE really uses ropes. The Impact Wrestling ropes are actually quite loose. So to be able... Oh, Crucifix Bomb. Beautiful by Black Taurus. This is going to be it. Oh, Brian Myers kicks out. Beautiful Crucifix Bomb there by Black Taurus. Love that move. So both guys are trying to get to their feet here. Oh, kick to the gut by Brian Myers. He's going to hit the ropes here. Goes for a power slam. Kind of, I'm not sure what he's going to go for. He's got him up. Oh, shoulder breaker by Black Taurus. Took a while to get there, though. Sort of spun him around in midair for ages. It's like he was spinning plates. He was like that. Got him there in the end, though. Shoulder breaker. Gets a 2 count. So it looks like Black Taurus is now kind of in control here. He's going to try and put Browse away. Oh, beautiful Pele kick. Or Pele kick, if you're from the UK. I was always frustrated with a Pele kick. Pele. Oh, flatliner by Brian Myers. Is this going to be it? Goes for the cover. 2 count from Brian Hebner. Great to see Brian Hebner back in Impact. He's been back with Impact for a while now. I think since Bound for Glory last year. He previously was with the MWA. Obviously, got most famous with WWE, son of legendary referee Earl Hebner and the nephew of Dave Hebner by proxy. Brian Myers is going to go to the top rope. Video Game Fight Club says, how's the match going so far? I tell you what, actually, it's been a real fun opening match. Real fun opening match. I wasn't really sure what to expect from this one, but as opening matches go, can't ask for much more than this. Black Taurus been very impressed. Very impressed. I mean, like, if you're familiar with his work, you would know that he's a real deceptively agile for his size. Brian Myers, though, big lariat. I think he got a thumb to the eye. He's got a huge lariat. This might be it. Brian Myers gets the victory. That kind of came out of nowhere. Brian Myers gets the win. That's one prediction right. Tick. So Brian Myers gets the victory. Interesting, got the victory over a lariat. So they're in the corner. Basically, the finish of that one, they're in the corner. And Brian Myers, I think, gets a thumb to the eye, rake to the eye through the mask. We're going to see the replay now. Or see the replay of a lariat. It's a big lariat. It's a huge lariat on Black Taurus. Surprised that was the finish. They didn't show the replay, but I think he put the thumb in the eye of Black Taurus and then hits the lariat. Brian Myers gets the victory. So that finish kind of came out of nowhere. Wow. Well, it was a fun opening match, though. As we are now got on camera with Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown. Matt Striker growing his hair out. He's going through the difficult phase. Obviously growing his hair out. But that was fun. That was a fun opener. I enjoyed that far more than I thought I was going to, I must say. Hivation says, Taurus is nothing to play with in the ring. I hope Impact give him a bout soon. Video Game Fight Club says, I think Brian should turn face TBH. Who knows, could possibly happen in the future. As D'Lo Brown and Matt Striker were just running through the card for tonight right now. Which we did earlier on, if you joined us earlier on in the stream. If you're enjoying Under Siege so far, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're aiming to reach 3,500 subscribers tonight. We were only 8 away. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. As they're just running through the card, they've got on screen right now the 6-way #1 Contenders match promo, which of course is the main event tonight. I'm assuming it's the main event. They could go with Kenny Omega as the main event. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Or me personally, the match I'm looking forward to the most is the #1 Contenders match. But I suppose, considering the star power, they might have Kenny Omega in the main event. Yeah, Matt Striker's hair, he's definitely growing it out. Which is the opposite of D'Lo Brown, who's got no hair. So next up, we've got the Knockouts Tag Team match. We've got Susan making her way to the ring with Kimberly. Kimberly sort of shoving Susan out there. Susan's entrance music just wild. It is wild. Not Taylor Wilde, who is in this match. But of course, Kimberly and Susan are Deonna Purrazzo's minions, if you will, her backup. Susan, the other thing I don't get with Susan's entrance music, it just doesn't really fit her character, doesn't it? Like Susan, the whole point of Susan is that she's meant to kind of be a bit of a Karen, right? That's the whole point, isn't it? And her music just doesn't really fit that. It just doesn't fit that. Here comes Caleb with a K, of course. The company Tenille Dashwood into the impact zone. I fasted Bradley. I mean, you've got to try better. You've got to try better than that. You've got to try better. I'm not full for that. It's too easy. Too easy. Highbase says, "Hey Owen, I think John Moxley next big feud is Nick Gage. Oh, he obviously did Dark Side of the Ring episode this week. Aren't they scheduled to have a match, or did they have it already? I don't really keep up with that kind of stuff." Steve G says Purrazzo should be main event, but won't be. Purrazzo is the best thing Impact has right now. Absolutely. Deonna Purrazzo, one of the best female wrestlers in the world right now, no doubt. So still Dashwood's in the ring with Caleb with a K, who's still sporting the neck brace. And here comes the former Knockouts champion herself, Taylor Wilde. Who, as I said before, Taylor Wilde somehow, despite being retired for like 10 years, is better than she has ever been, which is crazy. So my prediction for this one was that Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood gets the victory. So that's my prediction. You can let me know your prediction for this match in the live chat. Brian Ray says, yeah, on Impact Plus after you pay the $8. Yeah, it's like, I think it's $7.99, which is like, it's like $7.50 quid over here in the UK, something like that. I fasted Bradley, sorry, was worth a try, at least made you smile. I'm not going to fall into that. That's for the AFTV post-match shows. They always get caught out of that stuff. Taylor Wilde, just a full performance when she comes to the ring. Mimes the whole song. It's pretty impressive. She's going to start the match with Susan in the ring. They're going with a Greco-Roman strength. Test of strength. Old school. Taylor Wilde, that's just going to do some air guitar. She really is getting wild. As Susan's run off, she's now in the ropes. Taylor Wilde's going to go after her. Tenille Dashwood's now doing some air guitar of herself. Kind of a Tiger Feint Kick, also known as the 619 by Taylor Wilde, and Susan's out of the ring. Now Kimberly's been tagged in, and now she's with Taylor Wilde. Tenille Dashwood has tagged herself in. Frenetic start to this one, as they would say. There's a bit of a weird standoff in the ring, but all four competitors are in the ring right now. Tenille Dashwood's with Kimberly, and Taylor Wilde's with Susan. Oh, God. Taylor Wilde just hit a German suplex on Susan. Not really in the corner. That was nasty. And Tenille Dashwood hit a suplex of her own on Kimberly. Ouch. And double foot stomp by Taylor Wilde on Kimberly. It's been a bit of a strange start to this one. I don't want to say sloppy, but you know. Tenille Dashwood forearm to the face of Kimberly. It's going to go for hangman neck break on the middle rope. That was nice. Tenille Dashwood. Henry J. Kalima says, Susan get her first win. Ace Austin is better than you, says Tenille Dashwood is a phenomenal heel and really good on the mic. I'm surprised she hasn't won an Impact Championship yet. I hope it's really her and Taylor Wilde that go after the Knockouts tag titles, possibly. Steve G says Taylor come back better than Caitlyn is. Hibation says Susie needs to be back. Meltzer got you triggered, says what's up, Owen? What's up, Meltzer got you triggered? There's certainly some Meltzer stuff got people triggered this week on social media. There was this show, wasn't it, on the Wrestling Observer Radio show this week with, or yesterday, was it with Bruce Mitchell, which was a joke. absolute joke. So much of a joke that then all of the people on the forums got so upset by it, rightfully so, and they took it down like they ever thought it was going to be a good idea. When on earth was that ever going to be a good idea, putting him on there? And then whilst he was on there, did he not apologize or anything like that? He tried to rewrite history, going, "Oh, I never questioned AEW and Brody Lee's family." What a load of nonsense. Absolutely ludicrous. It's a massive difference between apologizing that you upset people and apologizing realistically for what you said. That's what he was. He wasn't sorry for what he did or wrote. He was sorry that he got caught out by it. People called him out on it. Remember, when he wrote that as well, he doubled down on it, tripled down on it, whatever you want to say. He continued to write about it. It's a joke that Meltzer had him on the show yesterday. It's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. And I'm glad to see the people. I'm really glad to see the people called, Wrestling Observer and F4W Online out over it because it was ludicrous. It was stupid. High Nation says, I don't know if you know yet. Shinsuke Nakamura was spotted backstage at AEW. I don't know the validity on that one. There have been a couple of people that have debunked that, so I don't think that's necessarily true. But back to the action in the ring. Kimberly hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Tenille Dashwood, rolls it to the outside. Taylor Wilde's on the top rope. Susan's going for, is this going to be a superplex? Going to go for a superplex. Taylor Wilde's fighting it back. That was a definite edit. But a superplex off the top rope by Susan on Taylor Wilde. There's a definite edit there in that one. Absolutely was an edit in that one. Goes for a cover, but Susan puts her feet on the ropes. The ref notices it. Susan celebrating like she won. She didn't. Kimberly's shouting at Susan on the apron, trying to get her attention. What I always find funny with Susan as well is that, small package by Taylor Wilde here on Susan. Oh, broken up by Kimberly. Slow count, but broken up by the referee, by Kimberly, rather. What I find so funny with Susan's attire is that she's in the sort of, the power suit, but she's got some pretty impressive footwear on as well. Oh, God. Caleb with a K just kicked Susan in the head. German suplex with the bridge. That's it. Taylor Wilde gets the victory. There you go. That was a quick one. Oh, my God. What happened there? So the referee gets distracted. And Caleb with a K just kicks Susan in the face. And Taylor Wilde gets the German suplex with the bridge for the victory. Unbelievable. I mean, can Caleb with a K, can he actually, kick a woman in the face? What's going on? Crazy. I mean, I faster Bradley. I mean, you can try it all night. You can try it all night. I'm obviously not going to say those names. We all grew up saying stuff like that. Like, come on. Richard Carter says maybe they were switching the person playing Susan so we can get Sue Young. Who knows? So Wilde gets the victory, and now Wilde's gone to the back. So that was a pretty quick match. As we go to a promo from Sami Callihan. It's obviously the hacker Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan's got a pretty impressive setup there in his hacking den, doesn't he? He really does. I like his iMac. That's the same thing that I'm streaming off. It's the same quality. So there you go. Steve G says, do you think Impact's next recordings for TV will have fans? No, because they're doing TV tapings this week, so they won't have fans in attendance. Brian Rains says, damn, that's it. It was very quick. Ace Austin is better than you says, I mean, everybody's also talking about equality, so it's only fair, haha. Rich Cutler says, never mind. So there you go. If you enjoyed that match or you're enjoying Impact Under Siege so far, smash a like on the like button. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Let's do another quick check while Sami Callihan's doing his pre-tape promo. See how many subscribers we're on. So we've only got 7 subscribers to go until we reach our target for tonight, which is 3,500 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the like button too. Richard Cartley said Slammiversary might have fans. Possibility. It could be a possibility. So coming up next, we've got the Impact Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders match. This one's going to be interesting. So far, so now I think I'm spot on. I think I'm 100% on the predictions. You can let me know how you're doing in your predictions in the live chat. So who's going to be the #1 contenders for the Impact World Tag Team Championships? I mentioned that there are a lot of matches on this show. There were like 9 matches on this show. We're just about half an hour in. We've already had 2. And we've had a promo. And we've had a cold open. So it looks like we've got a pretty decent pace going on right now, don't we? Ace Austin and Madman Fulton are out first. Ace Austin still got the Super X Cup trophy. Super X Cup tournament trophy. They're my predictions to win this one. Ace Austin is better than you says, I think Eric Young has the best promo of the wrestling industry at the moment. Big statement. But Sami Callihan is definitely getting up there. Big fan of Eric Young's promos. Eric Young's work last year when he came back with the whole Rich Swann storyline was just top-notch, top-level stuff. It really was. Hivation says, Owen, I think they should bring back Lockdown. That's a possibility. Steve G says, I like MJF's promos the best. MJF, fantastic promo. Really great promo. People often forget how much of a big guy Madman Fulton is. Speaking of big guys, here comes Triple XL. That's a segue. That's pretty damn good. Comes AC Romero and Larry D. He sees Larry D tonight, not Lawrence. Do you remember that last year? I love the what I do like with Triple XL's entrance though is the camera shake as they come down the ramp. Is the camera shake? That's pretty fun, isn't it? AC Romero's lost a ton of weight though. I mean, he really has. I think he's dropped over the course of the last 18 months. He's dropped like 150 pounds or something ridiculous like that. I fast with Bradley. I mean, it's still too easy. It's still too easy. It really is too easy. It's too easy. So Triple XL doing their pose during their entrance. One thing I will say about Triple XL though is their entrance theme is pretty damn awesome. Here comes Rohit Raju. Rohit Raju and Shira. Shira is looks to be in pretty damn good shape right now, doesn't he? But that's not to say that Rohit Raju doesn't. He's in great shape too. Obviously, the winners of this match will be the #1 contenders for the Impact World Tag Team Championship, currently held by New Japan Pro Wrestling's FinJuice. So you would think that we're probably going to have a heel team win this match. Hence my feeling that Ace Austin and Madman Fulton will win this match. 2 for 2 on the predictions so far. So let's see if we can carry on now. Rohit Raju's coming in and doing a pose in the ring. So there you go. And here comes the final team. Firstly, TJP. I just noticed that TJP during his entrance graphic has the old Christian Cage countdown. TJP has a broom. Because I guess maybe he wants to... I mean, honestly, I used to be a fan of TJP, and I don't want to bring politics into it. Lord knows I don't. But some of the stuff he was saying on Twitter last year, and even now, is insane. I mean, really insane. Should have Drake Wirtz refereeing his matches. Hivation says Madman Fulton versus Brian Cage would be a good match. Certainly an interesting match. Ace Austin is better than you, says Ace Austin versus Kenny Omega. And also Madman Fulton versus Kenny Omega would be great matches. Here comes Pete Williams. Impact Wrestling, original Pete Williams. Still looks in unbelievable shape. Pete Williams still looks in unbelievable shape. I was watching... because I was on Impact Plus today, setting everything up for later on, and I decided to watch the first ever episode of TNA Impact from 2004, which is on Fox Sports Net. And do you know, in the first match on that show, Pete Williams was involved in it as part of Team Canada. He was there with Eric Young, Bobby Roode, Petey Williams was the captain of Team Canada with Scott D'Amore. And all of these years later, 2021, Impact Under Siege, Petey Williams is still with Impact Wrestling. And Scott D'Amore is an executive vice president of the company. And TJP has just given the broom. Just given the broom to Petey Williams. Brian Rain says, calling out the cleaner. Well, maybe that's the pun that I didn't get. Ace Austin says, better than you said. What does he say on Twitter? Honestly, you don't want to know. It's not even worth getting into. It's just ludicrousness. And I think with stuff like that, if you give him oxygen, it's just ridiculous. Steve G says, oh yes, TJB, some of the things he says. Yeah, exactly. Fast with Bradley. I mean, they're creative. They are creative, Fast with Bradley. I will say. That one's pretty good. The fact that you've even done an initial in the middle of it was quite impressive, but you're still not going to catch me. You're not going to catch me. I'm throwing out the gauntlet. You're not going to catch me. Ace Austin's better than you. Says Pete Williams has been working backstage for Impact for a couple of years. Yeah, he's been a producer. He's been a producer for a while. Obviously, like I said, he's got history of Scott D'Amore as the executive vice president, so that's why. Richard Carter says, whatever happened to that Bobby Roode guy? Don't know. He's, I guess, teaming up with Shawn Michaels, cosplaying Shawn Michaels on SmackDown. So the match has officially started. AC Romero and Madman Fulton starting up here. We've got all 4 tag teams in 4 corners. I'm assuming you can tag yourself in, as is the traditional method of these matches, as we can just see. Rohit Raju has tagged himself in for Madman Fulton. So now it's Rohit Raju of AC Romero. Rohit Raju is celebrating, looks to be pretty happy with himself. Right hand to AC Romero, who is just looking at, oh my God, open hand slap around the head of Rohit Raju. Oh my gosh. And an uppercut by AC Romero. Now Pete Williams has tagged himself in. So we've got Rohit Raju and Pete Williams. Goes for a roll up. Telegraphs, drop toe hold into the middle ropes. Pete Williams, drop click between the shoulder blades. And Pete Williams going to put Rohit in a tree of woe in the corner. Oh, standing on the nether regions, shall we say. This is one for Fast with Bradley. Well, he's standing in the crotch area. Do a pun quick. Fast with Bradley says, I need to change my name now and flip sake. Oh, it's not just the name. I mean, High Vation says Austin Aries should come back and play Suicide. Austin Aries, he should come back and form a faction with TJP. And then their spokesperson can be Drake Wirtz. They're all kind of singing off the same hymn sheet, if you will. Ace Austin says, no, he's an unprofessional piece of garbage. Yeah, that's kind of Ace Austin's deal right now. He can go there with Ryback as well. But we've got a submission by TJP on Rohit Raju. It was an impressive submission mood. TJP's going with a... He's going to go for a version of a surfboard, I think. Oh, pulls back the shoulder blade and the knee there. He just threw his shirt at AC Romero. Goes for a cover, but Rohit kicks out. I think his first fall to a finish here. I don't think it's an elimination deal or anything like that. As Pete Williams is tagged back in. Steve G said, I missed this one. He said, I love Pete with Steiner. Remember that, Owen? I do. Maple Leaf Muscle. I remember that. And they had the old headgear on, same as Scott Steiner, all that kind of stuff. Came out with the cables. Oh, beautiful move by Rohit Raju. Sort of a front suplex. Goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. Fast with Bradley. Says he's going to head off now. I mean, I could read the rest. I could. But you haven't got me tonight. Feel free to come back, though, for another time to try. I enjoy it. To be honest, Fast Bradley, I enjoy the challenge. I do enjoy the challenge. I do. I'll give you credit for that one. It's been fun. This is what these streams are about. This is what this channel is about. It's about pro wrestling. It's about fun. It's about community. I'm not going to go off on people and stuff like that for having fun. Not a chance. Not a chance. Ace Austin is better than you, says. He also knows how Johnny Impact's finisher a few years ago, which is completely disrespecting Johnny Impact. That was, the Austin Aries Bound for Glory stuff was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, Pete Williams, right hand on Rohit Raju. He's trying to fight back. What's a shame with Rohit Raju is that, with Peter Williams rather, is that obviously his finish is the Canadian Destroyer, and it was one of, honestly, I remember the first time, it's beautiful swinging net breaker by Peter Williams. It was one of my favourite finishes. I think most people's favourite finisher was the Canadian Destroyer. It was like devastating, looked awesome, and the problem is, obviously, with the Canadian Destroyer is that it's done a million times over and over again. Bad Bunny did one at WrestleMania. Hella impressive, by the way, but everyone does a Canadian Destroyer now. I remember when I saw the Canadian Destroyer for the first time when I was a kid, man, it literally blew my mind. It blew my mind more than an I Fast with Bradley pun. It was amazing. But now it's just the same. And now Richard Cartledge is going with him. Man, it's all popping off in the live chat tonight. It is popping off in the live chat. As TJP and Peter Williams are still struggling in this one, Rohit Raju is now in control. Tags in his tag team partner Shira. He's going to slam TJP into the turnbuckle. I mean, that one. I Fast with Bradley is just. I mean, that last one's just lazy. That's just lazy. That one, just lazy. Not even. I feel like you're not even trying now. Come on. Rohit Raju with a punch to the gut. High Vasion says, "Oh, what if Velvet Sky comes to Slammiversary?" I doubt. I don't even know. I think she might be retired, and she's also contracted to the NWA right now. She does commentary for NWA Power every week. Ace Austin's been tagged in, so Ace Austin is now working over TJP. Quick tag though. Madman Fulton straight back in. He was only in the ring for a matter of seconds. Canadian Destroyer. It's impressive. It is impressive. I Fast Bradley. I respect. I really actually do respect the ability to continuously keep coming up with them. It is impressive. It's a skill. It's a real skill. It's a real skill. You should write like a book of them or something like that. You know, like Chris Jericho when he did the Man of 1,000 Holds or whatever with Dean Malenko on Nitro. I Fast Bradley can be a man of 1,000 puns or dirty names, and he can read them off. Just timing that, do that video, get a million hits. Honestly, it will. Madman Fulton's still in the ring, working over TJP. Ace Austin's been tagged back in. Again, I don't think it's elimination or anything like that. Oh, beautiful tag team move there. Sidewalk slam into a sort of springboard leg drop from Ace Austin. Richard Carter says, "When did this go from wrestling to an innuendo stream?" It's all fun. It's all fun. It's all fun. No, that one wasn't mentioned. Dixie Carter, but not her cousin. No. I'm not sure. Yeah, it can still be a cousin with a different last name. Ace Austin with a forearm to the face of TJP, though. He looks like he's going to go for a suplex of some sign. Yeah, beautiful suplex by Ace Austin. There's no doubt Ace Austin. I mean, he's still under contract to Impact Wrestling, I think, for at least 18 more months, something like that. So he's got plenty of time. It might even be 2 years, to be honest. He's got still a couple of years left on a contract of Impact Wrestling, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. I would think that he's at least got to be the Impact World Champion once before his contract's out of Impact Wrestling. Surely, right? Surely. He's too talented. He's too talented for that not to be the case. So Ace Austin's got a submission locked in on TJP. Camera just literally just shot TJP talking to Ace Austin there, which is a bit annoying, considering that this is taped. If this is taped and you've got the camera angles, don't use the camera angle that shows TJP talking to Ace Austin, please. Ace Austin's in the corner of Fulton. TJP rather is in the corner of Austin and Fulton. Fighting out though, boots to Austin and a drop kick to Fulton sends him to the outside. TJP going to go for a tornado DDT. Beautiful. Steve G says, Kenny Omega right now stealing Aries gimmick bout collector. I don't like Kenny, copy Aries, bad move. And Steve G says Ultimo Dragon had it as well. I think a couple of people have had it throughout the years of going to different territories, holding all the titles, all that kind of stuff. Pete Williams has been tagged in. He's with Austin Aries right now. Whipped off the ropes. Pete Williams always goes for a tilt wheel into a beautiful side Russian leg sweep. Now rolls up with a crucifix. Kicks out though. Does Ace Austin. Pete Williams, he's going to go for it. Is he going to go for the Canadian Destroyer? You can just tell when I read them now because I just giggle. The thing is though, deep down, I love an innuendo, and I love a good pun. People say a pun is the lowest form of wit and lowest form of humor. It's still funny. It's still funny. It really is. AC Romero just clotheslined Madman Fulton outside the ring. He's now gone into the barricade. So Triple XL now working over Ace Austin. Whipped off the ropes, going to go for a big back body drop. Shades of Shawn Michaels. And Larry D looks like he's got a sleeper hold locked in on Pete Williams. Now throws Pete Williams double shoulder tackle by Triple XL. Another open hand slap by AC Romero. Big kick to the face. 2 kicks to the face by Ace Austin to AC Romero. He's wobbly on the feet. He's in the corner. TJP's now in. What's he going to go for? Just threw him on his head. My gosh. TJP just threw Ace Austin high and tight on his neck. That's the shame about TJP, is he obviously is a very talented wrestler. Very talented wrestler and very good at what he does. He's been around for a long time. TJP, boot to the face. Incredibly talented, but his views on social media, my oh my. Talk about being a heel in real life. He's tagged himself in though. He's tagged AC Romero. He's going to the top rope. Shoved off the top by Rohit. Rohit's in the ring. Does that count as a tag? Did that count? Rohit's, yeah, it did count as a tag. Rohit. Spinning forearm. Going to go for, hammerlock DDT. Gets a 2 count though. Buff Egan says, is that a Southampton accent? No. It's not a Southampton accent. From South, but it's not that. It's not that accent. Ace Austin goes for a schoolboy though. Doesn't get the count though. Rohit, knee to the face, but Larry D's actually tagged himself in. Rohit's not the legal man. Larry D's just caught 2 hands. Headbutt. Rohit just got squished by Triple XL. Don't want to be any part of that. Don't want no part of that. Triple XL going to whip AC Austin off the rope. Larry D gets a backbreaker. AC Romero jumping elbow. Oh my God. This nearly just snapped Ace Austin in half. Is that going to be it? Is Triple XL going to get the victory? Ace Austin breaks it up. I thought for a second there Triple XL going to pin Ace Austin. God. Oh my gosh. Madman Fulton just nearly clothesline AC Romero. What a sow by AC Romero. Turned him inside out like Rikishi. Madman Fulton, what's he going to go for? Version of a swinging sidewalk. Turns it into a version of a... Now Ace Austin... splash off of Madman Fulton. This might be it. 2, 3. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton get the victory. They are the number 1 contenders for the Tag Team Championship. We're 3 for 3 in the predictions so far tonight. It was a fun finish to the match. Real fun finish. Madman Fulton's got a bit of blood coming from the mouth there. That was a lot of fun, though. I enjoyed that match. Started a bit slow, but that got very fun towards the end. To be honest, I fasted Bradley. I mean, I can tell that you've been spending the last 5 minutes thinking of that. So Ace Austin and Madman Fulton are the new number 1 contenders for the Tag Team Championship. They will be facing New Japan Pro Wrestling's Finjuice for those Impact World Tag Team Championship. We just don't know when, of course. We've got a backstage pre-tape with Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz, Fire and Flava. Smash a like, of course, if you're enjoying Impact Under Siege. Subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Only 4 subscribers away. We're now only 4 subscribers away from that 3,500 number, which is the target for tonight. Andrew Pollard says, wow, Owen, you're on a roll. I mean, yeah, 3 for 3 tonight so far. 3 for 3. See if this will continue. Darth Thor says, yes, they will beat Finjuice. I think they might be the one. I do think they might be the one to defeat Finjuice. See, now I'm already, because now I'm 3 for 3 on the predictions. I'm already starting to have doubts about some of the other ones. The one that I was a bit, was the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. I've gone a bit bold and said we're going to have new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. But next we've got W. Morrissey, Willie Mack. This one's going to be real fun. This one's going to be a lot of fun. This one's going to be physical. This one's going to be fun. Here comes W. Morrissey, though. W. Morrissey just looks absolutely jacked at the moment. It's in great shape. He's still 7 foot tall. Can't teach that. Also revealed that he's actually in a relationship with Lexi Nair, who is an interviewer for AEW and also the stepdaughter of Diamond Dallas Page. The more you know. The more you know. W. Morrissey just, I mean, he's said phenomenal shape, and if he reaches the potential that he's always promised to live up to, Impact doesn't have a huge star on their hands. They really do. Slicey Dicey says, new sub. Not many people doing watch-alongs tonight. Thanks. I really appreciate that, Slicey Dicey. As I mentioned, we always do a ton of Impact Wrestling content here on the channel anyway, but I do want to up the watch-alongs and the reaction streams that we do and all that kind of stuff. Here comes Willie Mack. He's putting the mouth guard in, which you know it's serious. No smiling from Willie Mack tonight. My prediction for this one was W. Morrissey. But Willie Mack's walking with a purpose. But if you haven't seen Willie Mack perform before, big fan of his work. We talked about Black Taurus earlier being a bit like Keith Lee in the sense that a big guy that can just do some crazy stuff. Willie Mack's the same. Awesome. Oof. Willie Mack just big right hands. Now he's starting off fast. Got W. Morrissey in the corner. Going for it again. And W. Morrissey's backed up into the corner several times. Willie Mack's just counting up. He's trying to cover up. Oh, just shoves Willie Mack across the ring. That's impressive. Oh, big shoulder tackle by W. Morrissey. So you realize with inside the Impact Zone as well, because obviously the Skyways Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, obviously very small, very compact, hard cams very close to the ring. You just realize, especially when he stands next to other people, just how big W. Morrissey is. I mean, he's a tall guy. He legit is nearly 7 foot tall, and you can't teach it. Shoves Willie Mack into the rope. Oh, big forearm. Doesn't knock W. Morrissey to his feet, though. Hivation says, I think Big Cass is going to win. Darthor says, wonder how long he signed for. Major top contender in Impact. Well, I think it was Fightful Select reported that he's in Impact for the foreseeable future. So I think he signed, I mean, I don't know if you could call it a long-term deal. I would assume he signed at least till the end of the year. At least till the end of the year. I fast with Bradley is I mean, the thing is with that one, who would have the first name just AY? Who would have that? And who would have the last name Smouse? It's a very common last name, Smouse, isn't it? Ivation says Willie Mack versus Black Taurus needs to happen. I fast with Bradley says Willie Mack. That is his name. That isn't an innuendo. That is his name. Slicey Dicey says, I just started watching Impact War since the AEW stuff, but I already feel bad for Willie Mack. He's always losing. No way he wins this. I think he loses this one. Willie Mack's a great talent, though. Real great talent. He's getting slightly dominated by W. Morrissey now. That's oh, man. W. Morrissey just booted Willie Mack. He goes sort of through the bottom rope, and he just sort of landed on his head. Man, Willie Mack's eyes are rolling in the back of his head. He's doing his best Undertaker impression. And W. Morrissey staring into the hard camera. Man, if they show a replay of this, well, we might be doing an angle here because it looks like the referee might call this off. I don't know if Willie Mack's going to make it back in the ring. They're going to show a replay. Basically, W. Morrissey just boots Willie Mack, and he takes a bump backwards on the floor, and those mats on the outside of the ring, especially in Skyways Studios, are incredibly thin. And man, that bump was nasty. I mean, real nasty. A big right hand by W. Morrissey there as well. But this is what I love about Willie Mack. I mean, some of the bumps the guy takes, again, for the guy his size, and you look at him, you think, there's no way he's going to be doing all of this crazy stuff. He does. W. Morrissey making sure to break the count several times as well. Clem Lopez says, Morrissey versus Moose is a match I'd like to see. Absolutely. It's just a case of if Moose stays around long enough, doesn't it? Ace Austin is better than you says, sorry, I left my room for a minute. Who won the tag match? Well, who do you think won the tag match? It was Ace Austin, Madman, Fulton. That one was, I fast Bradley, that one was not bad. That one was not bad. I did have to think about it for half a second. I'm not sure why you would want to see his opponent. I mean, nothing wrong with it, obviously. W. Morrissey now is on the outside with Willie Mack. It's still on the outside. Oh, Willie Mack. Oh, open hand slap to the back, or to the face of W. Morrissey. And again, managing to fight back, or knee to the gut. I always just love how Dave Penz is just sitting there. Because they didn't do the commentary live. They do the commentary to tape, so they overdub it afterwards. So there aren't any commentators out there. So it's just Dave Penzer and the timekeeper just sitting there, which is great. W. Morrissey's got Willie Mack sort of choked over the guardrail. W. Morrissey's going to throw Willie Mack into the ring. And it's just the pace is massively slowed now. Massively slowed. Now he's going to go for a submission. So certainly an interesting match so far because it started off, I mean, really quickly, like red hot really quickly. And it's kind of changed slightly now. And they did that bump to the outside of the ring. I thought they were going to do an angle whereby they just called it. They just called the match and said, oh, we can't compete. Because, I mean, what better way to book someone than say... then he just destroyed him in a couple of minutes that they're unable to compete. I thought that was the avenue they were going down, but obviously not. Mack's going to hit the ropes or reverse elbow by W. Morrissey. Now goes for the cover. Hand in the face as well. Kicks out at 2. I fast for Bradley. And to be fair, that's not bad. That's not bad because you've actually used Mack's first name. You've used the promotion, Impact Wrestling. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll give you that one. It's foot in the face by W. Morrissey there. Oh, kick to the gut by Willie Mack. Said really strange pace in this one. Very slow, very methodical. Well, I say slow. Started off frenetic. I mean, real fast pace. Oh, elbow drop by W. Morrissey. And again. Goes for a cover. Mack kicks out at 2. It's interesting. I wonder how he gets warmed up for it as well. As fast as Bradley. True. That close. W. Morrissey's got a side headlock or rear chin lock. However you want to look at it on Willie Mack right now. There's no way Willie Mack wins this. There's no way. I mean, I felt like that going into it anyway. But certainly now, there's no way. Mack's trying to fight out. Oh, big clothesline by W. Morrissey. Atomic Ultimate Pool 2.0 says, hi, I just subscribed. Did I miss the tag? What did I miss with the tag titles #1 contender match? Who won? Wow, the #1 contenders for the Impact World Tag Team Championships are none other than Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. So they will be facing Finn Juice at some point. But W. Morrissey is just shoving Willie Mack's face into the mat right now. Basically, ever since Mack took the bump out to the ring, it's just been a real slow, methodical, brutalizing, dominating pace to the match. The only thing I would say about it, unless they have a period in the match, which I think they might do, where Mack does a big comeback and gets a couple of near falls, I would say then you should end it pretty soon. Oh man, that camera angle was pretty bizarre there. They had a camera angle where they were shooting up like that, and W. Morrissey's choking Willie Mack there. He sort of got his eyes bulging out like that. But I mean, Mack is selling like he just doesn't have a clue what's going on. Oh, big clothesline by W. Morrissey. They might go an angle where the referee just calls it off. Oh, Willie Mack kicks out too. So I'm struggling to see where this one is going. Because, I mean, I feel like, watching it now, that W. Morrissey's got another reverse chin lock, whatever you want to call it, on Willie Mack currently, where he's going to try and fight back. I said the pace has been quite slow. Ooh, bit of a stunner there by Willie Mack. I would just sort of think that I'm not necessarily sure this match needs to go this long at this pace, especially if the ambition is to get W. Morrissey over quickly. Oh, W. Morrissey's dived into the corners, hit his head on the ring post. I mean, I don't even know if W. Morrissey's been off his feet at this point. Got to go for another clothesline. W. Morrissey's just kind of staggering, still hasn't gone down. Is it going to be a third time's a charm? Nope, still not going down. Gonna try for it again. Oh, Willie Mack's spin kick. That was unbelievable. Didn't knock him down. Unbelievable. How he could do that is incredible. Splash in the corner. And now W. Morrissey's down to a knee. Oh, jumping forearm punch by Willie Mack. He's cursing at the crowd. Willie Mack's going for it. There's no one there. He's cursing at midair. Willie Mack's going to go to the top rope. W. Morrissey's on the other side of the ring now. I'm not sure what he's planning. Crossbody. Beautiful flying clothesline. W. Morrissey is down, finally. Goes for a cover. W. Morrissey kicks out. Not even barely a 1 count. Darthor says Swan comes out and stops the match for his friend. Swan versus Morrissey. Impact Wrestling Lover since 2017 says, what's up? Thanks for joining us here tonight. Slicey Dicey says, yes, this is dragging on a bit. Impact Wrestling Lover since 2017 says, how's everybody's day going? Pretty good so far. Enjoying Impact Under Siege. If you are, you can smash a like on the like button. Oh my gosh. W. Morrissey's caught Willie Mack. Look at the power. He's going to go for it. Oh, sitting sidewalk slam. That's got to be it. Or no, he's going to go for something else. I think he's going to go for, will he have the Empire elbow? He's going to go for something else. Morrissey, oh, you know, this is, you know, I'm doing your job for you. Oh, a kick to the back of the head by W. Morrissey. That's going to be it. 2, 3. W. Morrissey gets the victory. Obviously, I think an outcome that most people saw coming. But W. Morrissey gets the win with a kick to the back of Willie Mack's head. So that is 4 for 4 on the predictions so far tonight. Let me know how you're doing in your predictions in the live chat. Remember, super chats are open. If you do want to contribute or support the channel, you can do that by clicking the $sign. Any contributions to the channel are greatly appreciated. Impressive outcome. Oh, W. Morrissey is now attacking Mack after the match is over. Punches to the head. Is this where we're going to get a Rich Swann appearance or something like that? Swann versus W. Morrissey would be an interesting feud. 2 former WWE guys. Doesn't look like it. W. Morrissey. Oh, he's going to threaten to leave, or he might come back now. Oh, he's going to go for... Uh-oh. W. Morrissey's got a steel chair. Morrissey's got a steel chair. What's he planning? This might be the way to write Willie Mack off of television. Of course, his contract is set to expire very soon. Oh, there we go. Here comes Rich Swann. Rich Swann, there he is. Oh, Swann's now going to go with W. Morrissey. Oh, kick to the shoulder. Knocks the chair out of W. Morrissey's hand. And now Rich Swann's now right hands to W. Morrissey. Oof. W. Morrissey just shoves him. Oh, pulls down the top rope. And W. Morrissey's on the outside of the ring. Now Rich Swann's got the chair. So there's Rich Swann. So it looks like we might get a W. Morrissey versus... Rich Swann just did the Enzo Amore dance as well. Maybe that's a sign of what's to come. So you've got Rich Swann, you've got Willie Mack, and W. Morrissey on the outside. Does that mean Enzo's going to come to Impact Wrestling? Are we going to have a feud of Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Enzo and Big Cass? Is that what we're going to get? Or are we just going to get W. Morrissey versus Rich Swann? I know Enzo said he didn't want to come to Impact or anything like that, but who knows? But if for you who wondered who Rich Swann's next opponent was going to be after his Impact World Championship reign, looks like it's going to be W. Morrissey. So it looks like next is going to be the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. But we're 4 for 4 on the predictions so far. Can we make it 5 for 5? Slicey Dicey says Willie Mack's eyeballs were the best part of that match. Yeah, I know his facial reactions were hilarious during that one. I Faster Bradley tries it again. Oh, it just gets that close. Darthor says, called it, love that matchup. Ace Austin is better than you said. Rich Swann back with Willie Mack as a tag team would definitely improve the tag team division. I agree. We spoke about that earlier on, didn't we? Saying that the tag team division had been hurt with all of those tag teams being broken up or leaving or anything like that. So if they transition into becoming a tag team, that's a possibility. That is a possibility. I agree with you there. Another good one from High Faster Bradley. Elouch V. Britannia says, bro, that's such a mismatch. How are you going to have Swann versus Big Cass? Swann looks like a jobber. The size difference isn't believable. Well, I mean, I can understand your point of view there, but people would have said the same thing about Rey Mysterio throughout the career, right? It's the Rey Mysterio principle, isn't it? It's that when you have the small guy versus a big guy, people say it's unbelievable, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. You can look at it in the sense of if this was MMA or if it was pro boxing, you would have the different weight divisions, and there would be a difference in the sizes and the weights and all that kind of stuff. But I guess at the end of the day, it's pro wrestling. There has to be an element of suspension of disbelief. And maybe it's the same in terms of, films as well. You have to, if you can't defeat him in strength and brawn, you can defeat him in intellect or something like that. No one should be able to defeat Thanos in the Avengers. They all have to team up together, or they have to find with other ways. Maybe it's the same thing in pro wrestling. There is an element of suspension of disbelief, but I do understand what you're saying there. I do get that. But again, it's the Rey Mysterio principle. And it's technically it's 2 against 1. He's got Willie Mack by his side, right? So maybe that's the feeling there. Dark Thor says, I think Morrissey beats Swan. Well, it depends how long either guy is there for, doesn't it? I mean, Morrissey is going to be with Impact Wrestling for the foreseeable future. Rich Swan's contract, I believe, expires this year as well. So that's interesting. Steve G says that would be great. Swan, Mack versus Enzo, Morrissey, the promos. Dark Thor says, this is the big gamble prediction for you. It is. This is the one that could really knock me off. So we got the Knockouts. No, it's not Knockouts Tag Team titles, not Knockouts Championship. Fire and a Storm says, so I've missed a lot. Who's all won? Can we do a quick recap? So let's have a quick recap as to who's won so far. So we've had Brian Myers versus Black Taurus kick off the show. Brian Myers defeated Black Taurus. We've got Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood defeated Kimberly and Susan. We've got tag team #1 contenders in Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. And we just had W. Morrissey defeat Willie Mack. And now we've got the Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the line. I'm 4 for 4 on the predictions. This is the one that could knock me off. Because previously, you would think the logical outcome here is that Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering retain here. They've only just won the Tag Team Championships. But I'm leaning in to the report saying that there was a title change planned, and we haven't seen it at any of the Impact Wrestling events so far in terms of the TVs that we've seen over the course of the last few weeks. We know that we are getting Impact Wrestling tapings next week, so this might be the last thing they filmed at the Impact Wrestling TV taping. So maybe this is the title change. Maybe the titles are going to go back to the former champions very quickly. So that's my prediction. But this is the risky prediction. This is the risky one. Ace Austin is better than you says maybe Heath will return and turn heel and side with W. Morrissey against Rich Swann and Willie Mack. I don't know the timetable on Heath's return. He didn't get the surgery that he needed until like March, and it was pretty significant. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. I think he might not be back until, if we say 4 months, maybe it'll be July, June. I don't know. But I would think if he comes back, he feuds with Violent by Design. I mean, his tag team partner Rhino's involved in that, right? A pair of reverse elbows by Rachel Ellering and Jordynne Grace to Fire and Flava. Ace Austin said, did you reach your subscriber goal? I don't remember what number you said you wanted. Well, the aim tonight was 3,500, wasn't it? It was 3,500. And we did. Shout out. Thank you, everyone who is a new subscriber tonight. The aim was 3,500 subscribers. We're now on 3,502. So thank you to everyone who is new to the channel so far tonight. If you are new and you still haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Click the notification bell. We do daily videos talking about all things WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. Do live watch-alongs for likes of Impact Under Siege right now. Also WrestleMania Backlash tomorrow night. We also do post-show reactions too and all that fun stuff as well. So thank you everyone who has subscribed, and if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. iFast with Bradley says you hit your goal, Owen. Probably all down to me, to be fair. And you're nearly there. But it's all because of iFast with Bradley. It's the rapport we have. It's the dynamic that me and you have. That's what's getting the viewers' attention. Nothing to do with Impact Under Siege. And that Jordynne Grace is now doing some gut-wrench suplexes. She just did one, and she's just stood back up deadlifting Kira Hogan. Obviously, Jordynne Grace has just re-signed with Impact Wrestling, signed a multiple-year contract extension. Now she's going to hit a third gut-wrench suplex in a row. Hasn't broken her grip. Now finally does, but hit 3 gut-wrench suplex in a row. Very impressive. Jordynne Grace is just dominating right now. And as I mentioned, just re-signed with Impact Wrestling, multiple-year contract extension. Great signing for Impact. So I'm sure they were, obviously, I would assume WWE and AEW must have been interested because she's just incredibly talented, Jordynne Grace. Ace Austin says, congratulations. I appreciate that. Andrew Pollard says, congratulations, Owen. You deserve 3,500 subscribers and many more. Well, I appreciate that, Andrew. Appreciate everyone's support. We've got a great community here for Wrestle News 365. We really do. Talking about all things pro wrestling. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just like you guys. We're pro wrestling fans. We like to watch pro wrestling. We like to talk about it. And there's no agendas here or anything like that. Rachel Ellering's in the ring now. Hits a senton. Ooh. Hit a senton on Kiera Hogan. Didn't really land on Kiera Hogan's midsection. And actually landed on her knees, which was nasty. Did look nasty there. Now, Rachel Ellering was previously with NXT. I believe also she had maybe a couple of appearances on AEW Dark too. Kiera Hogan is going to go for a neck breaker. Hits it on Rachel Ellering there. Now Tasha Steelz is in the ring. iFaster Bradley says, don't forget to click the notification bell, guys. I mean, I think they meant something else, but we can always twist these things. The phrases, not the notification bell. I mean, now you're rubbing off on me. Now you're rubbing off on me. But Tasha Steelz now serving up a plate of chops in the corner to Rachel Ellering. And a slap to the back. Tash Steelz is talking some smack to Rachel Ellering too. And now we're going to get some double team action in the corner as Fire and Flava put the boots to Rachel Ellering. Spoke about not having to go to WWE to make it anymore and all this kind of stuff. Also spoke about how she grew up as a fan of Impact Wrestling. And what's funny is now we're getting to that generation of wrestlers that did grow up watching Impact Wrestling and grew up watching the knockouts and all that kind of stuff. She spoke about how she used to actually do videos on YouTube herself, talking about wanting to become a knockout, which is pretty impressive, pretty fun to hear. Didn't mention Sasha Banks, thankfully, considering that beef there. But that was it was pretty cool to hear her say that. Obviously, Chris Bay was another one. Chris Bay grew up as a fan of Impact Wrestling. There's a video on the internet or on social media. There's a video of Chris Bay. He purchased an old school TNA World Heavyweight Championship bout and did like an unboxing and a review about it. And it's awesome to see him there with that TNA replica World Heavyweight Championship bout and all this kind of stuff. And now he's on the Impact Wrestling roster. How great is that? How great is that? Ace Austin's Better Than You says, you're one of my main 3 wrestling news channels because you cover Impact News. That's why I subscribe. So you definitely deserve all the subscribers you can get. Well, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Well, like I said with Impact, I'm an Impact Wrestling fan. I'm a WWE fan. I'm an AEW fan. But Impact Wrestling do a really good product. And, you know, also, whatever you guys want to hear. You know, if you guys are into Impact and you like the Impact News, that's why we do it. We just try to be as unbiased as possible, and like I said, no agendas. Offer an opinion, but no agendas. I think that's really important when it's covering anything. iFaster Bradley says, like Owen says, for a pleasure or evening. I did not say that. I did not say for a pleasure or evening. I did not mention about twisting anything. I said you're twisting my words. iFaster Bradley. I remember. Ace Austin is Better Than You says, I can't wait for the #1 contender match. That's the most unpredictable match of the night. It can go anyway. I don't know who will win. It's a good. I mean, there is absolutely avenues for anyone winning that. There is avenues. I'm still going to go with Moose, but I wouldn't be surprised if other guys won as well. Warren says, I hope Fire and Flava wins. So do I. I mean, that's my prediction. My prediction is that we're going to have a shock title change here. So if I'm going to go 100% tonight, then maybe. Rachel Ellering was going for the tag, but Tasha Steelz has prevented that. Pulls her back. Now he's going to tag in Kiera Hogan. Just throws Rachel Ellering into the middle turnbuckle. Oh, forearm to the face. Now goes for a roll through. Oh, and an uppercut. I don't know if anyone knows this. How long has Rachel Ellering been a pro? Oh, drop kick to the face. And now Fire and Flava. Once again, they've got Rachel Ellering in the corner. They're going to go for a double team here. Double suplex on Rachel Ellering. Brian Hedberg kicks out too. I Fast with Bradley's back. Apparently I'm one of those top 400 wrestling streamers. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Top 400. I will take that any day. Any day of the week I Fast with Bradley. Any day. As Kiera Hogan's got a reverse chin lock in on Rachel Ellering right now. Obviously, this is for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship, as you can see on the screen. Rachel Ellering needs to tag in her partner, Jordynne Grace. Goes for a super kick, ducks, and a clothesline by Rachel Ellering. So they're both going to reach for the tag. Both competitors going to go for the tag. Kiera Hogan wants to tag in Tasha Steelz. Rachel Ellering wants to tag in Jordynne Grace. Both, there we go, both fresh fighters are into the ring. Jordynne Grace and Tasha Steelz. Jordynne Grace unbelievably strong. I mean, unbelievably strong, by the way. Now Jordynne Grace is going to go for, Michinoku driver. Ooh, kicks out at 2. See a replay of the Michinoku driver. Ace Austin is better than you says either Sami Callihan, Moose, Chris Bay, or Matt Cardona is winning the match. I could see Chris Sabin winning as well. I honestly don't know. Almost all are good choices. I'm just saw that it won't be Trey Miguel. I mean, it could even be Trey Miguel. Who knows? If he signs a long-term contract, who knows? Oh, senton on the back of Tasha Steelz, but it's broken up by Kiera Hogan. Jordynne Grace hit senton on the back of Tasha Steelz, who was actually on the knees of Rachel Ellering. That was nasty. And Jordynne Grace going to hit the ropes. Oh, miscommunication. Hits a shoulder tackle on Rachel Ellering. Bit of a code breaker, knees to the chest of Rachel Ellering. Oh, Arn Anderson style spine buster to Tasha Steelz. In comes Kiera Hogan. Oh, DDT just absolutely spiked Jordynne Grace. Rachel Ellering. I don't know what that was by Rachel Ellering. This is why I was asking how long she'd been professional for. There does appear to be an element of greenness about Rachel Ellering. There very much does. Rachel Ellering is trying to get Jordynne Grace back to her feet. Now, all 4 competitors in the ring right now. Don't know what they're planning. Jordynne Grace throws Kiera Hogan to the outside. Tasha Steelz just threw Rachel Ellering. So it's Tasha Steelz and Jordynne Grace in the ring. Oh, pump kick by Tasha Steelz. Going to go for it again. Or hits the ropes. Oh, Jordynne Grace. Bit of a hesitation by Tasha Steelz. Allow Jordynne Grace to hit a clothesline. Jordynne Grace, knees to the shoulder blades in the corner. Hits the ropes. Oh, and Jordynne Grace, she picks up momentum, doesn't she? She really does. Jordynne Grace going to go for a Vader bomb. Or Kiera Hogan's grabbing the foot. Or Rachel Ellering's on the outside. So Rachel Ellering and Kiera Hogan are on the outside. Brawling, I guess. So Rachel Ellering just got thrown into the camera guy at the ringside. Kiera Hogan's going to go for a slice spread. Nice. Slice spread number 2 on the outside of the ring. So it looks like Rachel Ellering's out for the count on the outside. Jordynne Grace and Tasha Steelz are the remaining 2 inside the ring. So Jordynne Grace, Tasha Steelz, or boot to the face. Or Jordynne Grace is going to go for a driver. Oh. Tasha Steelz is in the corner. Oh, uppercut to Tasha Steelz in the corner. What's she going to go for now? She's planning something. Tasha Steelz is on the top rope. Jordynne Grace is going to climb up top. I don't know what she's planning. Steve G says Rachel debut in November 2015. Really? 6 years pro. Would have expected a bit more. There's been a few sort of sloppy. I mean, I don't know how often. I mean, she was part of NXT, I suppose, as well. So that's interesting. Tash Steelz going to the top rope. What's she planning? Frog splash. Nice. It's going to be it. And it's over. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. We've got new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Wow. Tasha Steelz pins Jordynne Grace and 5-4-5. Yes. New Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Man. So Fire and Flava are new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Called it, called it, called it. Wow. So this was the title change that was planned. Surprised that Jordynne Grace took the pinfall as well. I thought if anyone was going to take it, it was Rachel Ellering. But it was Tasha Steelz hits a frog splash on Jordynne Grace. And there you go. New Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So we've got new two-time Tag Team Champions. Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz, Fire and Flava. Whoo-hoo. So there we go, 5-for-5. Wow, new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Now I feel confident. I feel confident about the remainder of my predictions now. We might be seeing a clean sweep. We might be seeing a clean sweep tonight on stream. So we've got a backstage segment right now, pre-tape, of the Swingers Palace. We've got Johnny Bravo playing poker. Henry says, great match. Star Thor says, wow, Owen, the money call. I just should have put money on it. Ace Austin is better than you says, I didn't think Fire and Flava was losing. Great for them, though. So now XXXL in this pre-tip. There's Hernandez in there as well. I'm not really sure what is going on at this point. But you never really do when it comes to these Johnny Swinger segments. You never really do know what's going on. So Johnny Bravo's still playing casino. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on. I've asked Brad. It's Swingers Palace. I'm just still trying to figure out what is actually going on in this pre-tape. XXXL are going to be escorted out of the casino. This is the thing, though. If you're new to Impact and you're watching Impact for the first time, they have this kind of stuff on their shows, which is just like bizarre, off-the-wall stuff. You would have missed Wrestle House and the Who Shot Johnny Bravo saga, all that kind of stuff. So it looks like next we're going to have the X Division Championship on the line. Josh Alexander, El Phantasmo. This could be the match of the night. This is the sleeper match of the night. This one's going to be pretty fun to watch. Ace Austin is better than you says, but I was sure Rachel Ellering and Jordynne Grace were going to keep their titles by disqualification. Nathan Wallace says, I hope the IWGP World Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions are watching. And there is El Phantasmo. New Japan Pro Wrestling's El Phantasmo. And if you've never seen El Phantasmo work before, you're in for a treat. The guy is unbelievably talented. Unbelievably talented. Wasn't massively keen, I must say. I mean, I saw it on Impact at the time and I kind of did a bit of an eye roller. It made quite a bit of social media attention over the course of the past week or so. Was the spot where he walks the ropes all the way around the ring, like all the way around. And it kind of, when we spoke about suspension of disbelief earlier on, it was, yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. He's a great addition to the X Division, though, as he just hits a backflip, lands it in the middle of the ring. But this is the one. This is the one I was really excited for. I like that Josh Alexander still has the North's theme. The North's entrance theme was awesome in Impact Wrestling. But here he comes, Josh Alexander. For me, a future Impact World Champion. The walking weapon himself. I'm sure I Faster Bradley would love that one. So this one's going to be a lot of fun. This definitely going to be a lot of fun. Ace Austin is better than you says, Johnny Swinger's personality reminds me of old Hulk Hogan, but in a good way. Well, I think it's the Johnny Swinger gimmick's all about sort of 1980s pro wrestlers. It's a parody on that, isn't it? So that's the whole thing. Hivation says El Phantasmo is going to win, then Omega could come out. Don't know about that. Steve G says Ace Austin reminds me more of AJ Styles. Hivation says Ace Austin versus AJ Styles needs to happen. Who knows, one day, if Ace Austin goes to WWE at some point. I think AJ Styles is finishing up his career in WWE. So the opening bell rings and the match is underway. X Division Championship on the line. Josh Alexander, the champion, number 1 contender. New Japan Pro Wrestling's El Phantasmo. Are we going to see another New Japan wrestler hold Impact tag team Impact Championship gold? Darth Thor says, "What's happening in New Japan Pro Wrestling with Corona? Do you think I think we'll see the New Japan guys for a while." Yeah, it's very confusing, isn't it, at the moment with Japan, what's going on with the whole pandemic over there. Obviously, the Olympics are meant to take place this summer, and the more it looks more and more likely that won't be happening. Obviously, New Japan Pro Wrestling had to postpone shows because of it. So I think you're right. I think people that are over in the United States at the moment, especially if they're normally based there, I don't think they'll be going back to Japan for a little bit. Ace Austin's better than you says. Also, AC Romero in the X Division will show powerhouse style of X Division. Owen, do you think Alexander beats Omega for the title? I think it's a real possibility. I think he uses the X Division Championships Option C rule, and maybe he could be the one. I think they're grooming him for that spot. So some chain wrestling to start this one between Josh Alexander and El Phantasmo. Phantasmo looks a bit frustrated. I mean, he's trying to sort of out-mat wrestle Josh Alexander, which of course just isn't going to happen. Josh Alexander's now working over the arm. El Phantasmo's trying to flip through, roll through. Oh, ties Josh Alexander up. Now going for a surfboard or a bow and arrow. Oh, rolls through, gets a 1 count. Nice start to this one. Hivation says, "Oh, and I don't know if Kairi Sane left WWE. Well, she's still technically under contract to WWE, or she's an ambassador for WWE. But she moved back to Japan to be closer to her family." I fast with Bradley. I will actually read this one out. He says, "Good night, Owen. I appreciate having a laugh with me. It's all fun. Love celebrating content creators who interact with people." And that's what it's all about. It's about interacting with the live comments. We've got a great community here for WrestleNews 365 where we can just interact, have fun. You don't even have to be a pro wrestling fan. As long as it's all in good nature, that's all it needs to be. That's all it needs to be. And I'm not going to read out the other one. Nearly there. But I appreciate you. So El Phantasmo's got a front face lock on Josh Alexander in the middle of the ring. Ooh, big forearm to the face. El Phantasmo, he went for a leapfrog. It's just counted into a power slam. Beautiful by Josh Alexander. Ooh, what a chop Josh Alexander was. That was nasty. Whips him into the corner, goes for a big back body drop. And El Phantasmo's going to roll to the outside. Doesn't want anything of that. Surprised we haven't seen a ton of high-flying stuff from El Phantasmo in this match so far, which I kind of expected. I expected him to do. Josh Alexander's been very much in control. Headbutt to the gut by Josh Alexander. Now going to go for backbreaker. Nice. Goes for a cover. Kicks out at 2. Darth Thor says, if it's not Moose, it will be Alexander who beat Omega at Bound for Glory for me. I agree. I agree. It definitely could be a possibility. Maybe it could be a Samoa Joe. Who even knows that one? I've probably says, get over with a good one. He won't expect it from you. It's already trying to turn people. While we watch Impact Under Siege. So El Phantasmo looks to start to get in control. It's a chop to Josh Alexander. A punch to the guts. Now El Phantasmo is going to go for the eyes of Josh Alexander. If you're enjoying Under Siege so far, smash a like on the like button. Sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Oh, big chop by El Phantasmo. Now going to go for an Escalera. Now he's going for the high flying moves. Beautiful Hurricane Runner. Bounce off the top rope. It's very similar to Rey Fenix. When Rey Fenix does the Escalera, bounce off the ropes and into a Hurricane Runner. Very impressive. So El Phantasmo is now in a bit of control. After Josh Alexander initially was very much in control to start this one out. What is interesting... Oh, El Phantasmo tried to chop on Josh Alexander there, who just wasn't having any of it. Man, the thing is, when you with these empty arena shows with no fans in attendance, obviously you hear everything, the punches, the kicks, the talking. And one thing you do hear, though, really hear prominently, is the chops. The chops are just brutal. They're absolutely vicious. So Josh Alexander's in a tree of woe here. What's El Phantasmo going for? It's going to go for... I would like he was going to go for a drop kick. And now he's standing on the groin as well. Where's Ifaster Bradley when you need him? And now El Phantasmo's chanting one more time, so he's going to try it again. He's chanting like there's there's fans there, which is... I mean, there isn't. I don't know if he realizes it. Going for it again. Oh, beautiful. Josh Alexander turned it into a German suplex from the second rope. That was impressive. El Phantasmo's rolled to the outside now. D'Lo Brown's not happy on commentary, saying it's not the time. Again, Josh Alexander. Those chops are outrageous. So showing a replay of El Phantasmo just standing on the nether regions of Josh Alexander when he turned it into a German suplex. D'Lo Brown on commentary was livid. Oh, wow. Josh Alexander went for a chop on the outside to El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo ducked, and Josh Alexander just hit a straight chop on the post. Could lead to a broken hand there, maybe. And now he's dropping knees on the hand. Oof. Now Josh Alexander. Oh, he's raking the fingers down the back of Josh Alexander. That's nasty. And now he's going after the hand. He's trying to break the fingers. Why is the referee counting? What's wrong with that? Oh, Josh Alexander. El Phantasmo put the middle finger up to the referee. Is manipulation of the fingers, of the digits, is that illegal? Why is the referee doing a 5 count? Is there anything technically wrong with that? I don't know if there necessarily is, right? So El Phantasmo is doing a bit more joint manipulation, going for another Escalera. Now he's going to walk the rope. He's going to try and do the... going to try and do a bit of old school, mixed with Ric Flair and Jackie Fargo on that top rope. Now he's doing the strut. And again, this is the spot that got a lot of people talking that they didn't like it. Gets to the corner, kick to the head. And basically... Oh, catches him. Oh, nice roll. Senton roll by Josh Alexander. Mick Thomason says, did they have the Knockouts Championship match earlier? No. Knockouts Championship match is still to come. As is the 6-man tag team match with Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers against Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice. And, of course, well, I don't know what the main event is on this show. That's the problem. I don't know if the main event is the 6-man tag or the number 1 contender. I would think it's the number 1 contender, but I don't know if that's going to necessarily be the case. So, yes, we've still got 4 matches to go, including this one. Darth4 says, I would love to see Ace, Bay, Alexander, Moose, Morrissey, Joe versus Omega, although Joe may be the only one to cross over and jump Omega in AEW. Absolutely, that's a possibility. I think if we're going to pick anywhere for Samoa Joe's go, I think probably, realistically, might be AEW over Impact, but we'll have to wait and see. Josh Alexander's asking El Phantasmo to hit him. Oh, he went for a nipple cripple. What the hell was that? A forearm to the face. Looks like this is, another chop by Josh Alexander. Oh, smash in the corner. El Phantasmo does the Daniel Bryan flip in the corner. Reverse elbow there by Alexander. Now he's going to go for something. Hits the ropes. Oh, on a big boot. Goes for the cover. Kicks out at 2. Certainly, the match so far has been a bit of an interesting one, hasn't it? Very much an interesting one. I would have expected maybe a little bit more high flying from El Phantasmo, but this is the thing. Like I mentioned this before when it comes to the X division. If you think that if you treat the X division like a cruiserweight division, that's not what it's meant to be. The X division, the cliche was it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. That's the point. That's the point with the X division, is that it's meant to be, about different styles of wrestling, different types of wrestling. Inside cradle here, El Phantasmo kicks out, or he tries to roll back through. Josh Alexander, now he's turned it into an ankle lock. Shades of Ken Shamrock. Phantasmo rolls through, though. Springboard off the second rope into a crossbody. Rolls through. Now he's going to go for a lion salt. Looks like nice. Goes for a cover. Kicks out at 2. El Phantasmo, kick to the head. I thought he was going to turn it into an ankle lock. I think he has. Oh, stamps on the hand. That was a fun spot. Cooking and Gambler with Jordan 98 says, I would love to see Samoa Joe and Kenny Omega. That's a great name. Well, Phantasmo. Bit of an aeroplane net breaker. That was nice. Goes for a cover. Ooh, kicks out. Some interesting moves. El Phantasmo showed a bit of a different side to himself in this one. So El Phantasmo, El Phantasmo's chest is beat red from those chops earlier on. Josh Alexander hits hard. Goes to go for a super kick. Oh, he gets caught by Josh Alexander. Now turns that into a backbreaker. Now he's got the ankle lock locked in. Is this going to be it? Maybe at some point we get a Josh Alexander versus Ken Shamrock feud for the X Division Championship. El Phantasmo rolls through, though. Alexander hits the middle turnbuckle. Oh, he hooks the tights. Oh, that was close. I thought that was it. I thought he had that for a second there. I thought we were going to see a new X Division champion. Oh, catches him. El Phantasmo went for a super kick. Gets caught by Josh Alexander. We might get the... what is it? Oh, he's just slapping Josh Alexander in the face. It's just going to piss him off. Oh, release German suplex. Lands high and tight on the shoulders. Man. That was a great German suplex. Love that. Oh, he's going to go for a dive. Well, here we go. Oh, cross body through the bottom rope on El Phantasmo. That was nasty. Love that spot. Ace Austin is better than you, says Kenny Omega versus Chris Sabin. If Sabin was in his prime, it's a dream match. Well, talk about Chris Sabin, pioneer of, we're seeing an X Division Championship match, pioneer of the X Division style, pioneer of just the high flying style we see currently on a lot of rosters. Chris Sabin, absolutely, he's a trailblazer. He says, Ace Austin is better than you, says, it'd still be good now, but Sabin doesn't have too much momentum at the moment. I think he's kind of trying to find his footing a little bit. I think he works as a producer backstage for Impact as well. He's not just a talent on screen. Alexander's now is on the top rope. Oh, but El Phantasmo hits the top rope, which causes Josh Alexander to fall down. So I think we're heading into the final stages of this match. My prediction was for Josh Alexander to retain. Still is. I'm still going to say that Josh Alexander retains. I'm 5 for 5 on the predictions so far tonight. Let's see if we can continue this for 6 for 6. Josh Alexander shoves El Phantasmo up. Oh, kick to the head. Oh, Josh Alexander looks to be a bit out on his feet on the top rope. I don't know what they're planning here. Can't seem to get his foot in. I don't know what they're planning. What are we seeing? Oh my God. Top rope Frankensteiner by El Phantasmo. That was insane. El Phantasmo's going to the top rope. Is this going to be it? What's he going for? Big splash. Big splash by El Phantasmo. This might be it. New X Division champion. Is this going to be it? 1, 2. Ooh, kicks out. That was a nice near fall. I thought for a second there. I was like, oh, we're going to see another title change. My predictions would be wrong. Not though. Josh Alexander kicks out. That top rope Frankensteiner. That was beautiful. Then hits a big splash. Imagine El Phantasmo during mid-air grabs his own ankles in a small ceiling. Skyway Studios does not have this big roof like an arena would. It's a very small ceiling. He still managed to do that. And he's going to go, what's he going to go for now? He's going to go for CR2, it looks like. Oh, Alexander manages to roll through. He's going to go for the ankle lock. No. What's he going to go for now? Whoa. El Phantasmo's managing to fight out. Rolls through. What are they going for? Is someone going to bridge? Oh, my God. Bridges onto his neck. He had a surgically repaired neck. He's got a broken neck in the past. That's unbelievable. Jackknife cover by El Phantasmo. Is this going to be it? Oh, God, that was close. Whew. I manages to roll through. And now he's got the ankle lock locked in. Josh Alexander's got El Phantasmo in an ankle lock. Is this going to be it? Now is he going to tap out? Oh, just trying to roll through El Phantasmo. He still managed it. No, he switched his hands. The psychology here. He switched hands. He's not using the injured hand from earlier on in the match to use the hold. It's brilliant psychology. I love it. I was going to pick him up with deadlift from a power bomb. Oh, power bomb into a backbreaker. Now he's transitioning into an ankle lock. What a finishing sequence this is. Is this going to be it? He's got the ankle lock locked in. Is he going to tap? He's stamping on the back. Kurt Angle it. Grapevine the leg. He's stamping on the back. Yes, he does. He grapevines the leg. Is he going to tap? Surely he's going to tap. He taps out. Josh Alexander retains. Still X Division champion. What a match. Man. That last 5-minute period of this match was unbelievable. Man, oh man. That was great. Really enjoyed that match. I called it the sleeper of the show. And for a period of time, I wasn't sure about it. I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this one. It's a bit of a weird pacing of this match. That last 5-10 minute period of that match was just so good. Great near falls, great technical wrestling, great psychology. They put the element of doubt in there with the broken hand kind of spot earlier on in the match. He switches it up into a different position for the ankle lock. Loved it. Loved it. Great match. Great match. That was a lot of fun. So we're 6 for 6 on the predictions as well. 6 for 6 on the predictions. Really enjoyed that one. So we've got a backstage interview right now with Finjuice and Eddie Edwards. What did you guys think of that match, though? You can let me know in the live chat. I'd love to get your opinion on that match. That was a lot of fun. A real lot of fun. If you enjoyed that match, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Awesome. Ace Austin's Better Than You said, it's so sad that Heath was finally able to be himself instead of being tied to WWE. He's finally going to get treated seriously, finally going to show his worth till he got injured in his big storyline. It's very unfortunate, but he's recovering now and he'll be back soon. Warren says, I saw El Phantasmo first match. Darthor says, wow, what a match. Ace Austin is Better Than You says, Ace Austin is about to show up with a Super X Cup to cash in. Then he's going to win the championship. Then he's going to cash in Option C and take the championship from Omega later on tonight. Tonight? I don't know about that. That would certainly be a turn up for the books. I'd be glad I was live if that happened. But yeah, reacting to that match, that was a lot of fun. That was really a lot of fun, that match. I said it was going to be the sleeper of the show, and maybe that will be the best match of the show. So if they're doing this backstage promo right now with Eddie Edwards and Finjuice, does that mean we're going to see this match next? Is this going to be next? Because then that would confirm what I thought was going to be the case, that the main event of the show is the #1 Contenders match. Eddie Edwards is cutting a spirited promo backstage right now. talking about Eddie Edwards talking about Kenny Omega trying to take Impact away from him. Obviously, they like to call him the heart and soul of Impact, don't they? Coming up next, we have the Knockouts Championship. We have Deonna Purrazzo versus Havok is coming up next. Andrew Pollard says, Jiminy Cricket. That match was supreme. Both guys killed it, and Josh Alexander is a damn good X Division champion. I agree. Real fun match. Best match of the night so far by absolute far. So next up, it's the Knockouts Championship. Here comes Havok. Obviously, she recently split up from her tag team partner Nevaeh, who's now left at Impact. And that was all really to set up her as this dominant possible challenger for Deonna Purrazzo going forward. I mean, obviously, my prediction was here that Deonna Purrazzo retains, so it could be 7 for 7. 7 for 7 on the predictions. I just realized as well that on the screen it says 3.49k, which is not the case. We're now at 3.5k. So, and actually I can do an even more updated subscriber number, 3,507. So thank you, everyone that has subscribed tonight. That is new. I really do appreciate it. If you love your Impact Wrestling content, you've come to the right place, because we do lots of Impact Wrestling content here on the channel. Mick Thompson says, what was the first match tonight? That was Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. Alpha Vlamain says, I hope Havok wins, but I know Deonna will. I think that's Deonna Purrazzo. I think this one's a pretty predictable outcome. Doesn't mean it's going to be a bad match, of course. But I would agree. Yes, I think Deonna Purrazzo retains here. Can you imagine? How surprising would it be if Deonna Purrazzo, after this dominating title reign, just loses at Under Siege to Havok? That'd be very surprising. Ace Austin says, better than you, says Havok might be winning that Knockouts Championship tonight. I don't know. I would be really surprised. I would be really surprised. Deonna Purrazzo, like I said, for me, up there, she's in the conversation. She is in the conversation with the best female wrestler in the world right now. She is just that good. What she is doing on Impact on a regular basis is just incredible. I think the earliest that Deonna Purrazzo loses that Impact Knockouts Championship is Slammiversary, and if she does drop it, I would think she probably drops it to a Mickie James, a Laurel Van Ness, aka Chelsea Green, or one of the members of the Iconics. I think that's the most likely scenario. Lelouch, is that what you said? Says, who do you think Impact should sign? Well, obviously, I mean, if you, on a perfect world, you would sign a load of those guys that got released by WWE. You would say Samoa Joe. You would say get Kalisto in the X Division. You would say all of those female superstars, get them in the Knockouts Division, and just continue to prove why Impact, for me, is right up there with WWE of having one of the best women's division in the world right now. It's been a pillar of Impact Wrestling for a real long time, and rightfully so. Their booking of female wrestling is incredibly strong, and it's always a pleasure to watch. As Havok just throws Deonna Purrazzo by her hair to the other side of the ring. Which is, I think this is the match we're going to see with this. It's going to be a lot of Havok doing power moves, dominating, and then Deonna Purrazzo with the intelligence, the craft, is going to somehow sneak a victory. Maybe Kimberly and Susan get involved. They are at ringside. Kimberly's just pulled Deonna Purrazzo out of the ring. Susan's now trying to distract Havok. And now Deonna Purrazzo has now jumped on the back of Havok. Ace Austin is better than you said. I wish Nevaeh had a final Impact match on pay-per-view or a regular episode instead of before the Impact. It was surprising that it was on before the Impact. I think it was just a case of they were trying to get people to watch that show, and they're trying to, by having something that's relatively meaningful or substantial on that program, they're trying to tell the audience or condition the audience to saying, you know, you can't miss before the Impact, because if you miss before the Impact, you could miss something important like this. So that's what they were going for, I think. Lelouch says big names that make a difference, obviously. The thing is, though, they could sign, Impact Wrestling could sign Roman Reigns if they wanted to. The issue is the amount of people that can get Access TV. The access, ironically, to Access TV is incredibly limited. So that's always going to hold Impact back. I mean, we've seen it. You know, the the boost that they had with even the AEW working relationship, that first episode of Kenny Omega. It was something, was it 2,200 viewers? That was a huge number for Impact, but it was a huge number for Access TV, but it's just so limited distribution on that network that they're always going to struggle. The issue is that Anthem owns Access TV, so why would they take a company that they own, like Impact Wrestling, off of their own network? Doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So that's the situation. Deonna Purrazzo, though, is actually working over Havok's arms, just stamps on it. Shades of Shayna Baszler with that one. So now, I guess, is this what we're going to work over for the entirety of the match? It's going to be Deonna Purrazzo working over the arm of Havok. Is now pushing down on the shoulder and the arm. Or the elbow. Is it the shoulder or the elbow that she's going for? Ace Austin is better than you says, what if Nevaeh shows up tonight and announces she is signed with Impact, and then she realigns herself with Havok and helps her win the championship only to betray her after? I mean, that would be turn up for the books. You have like 3 different things that happen. I don't think so. I think Nevaeh, it was expected that she was going to leave. Her partner's Jake Chris, and obviously he's no longer with the company as well, and obviously it was difficult because of his brother and all that kind of stuff. So I was surprised she stayed with Impact Wrestling that long, to be honest. Not that there was any ill will or anything like that. I'm just surprised that that was the case, to be honest. Deonna Purrazzo tries to cover there, but Havok kicks out. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo, she's just, to be honest, apart from those early flurries there by Havok, she's just dominated the entirety of this matchup so far, which is pretty impressive. Now Deonna Purrazzo is now working over the arm of Havok. Still working over the arm. Or forearm by Havok there. We're going to go for a slam there. The arm gave out. And now Deonna Purrazzo again. Technical wrestling genius. It's so impressive. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo and D'Lo Brown and Matt Striker putting over Deonna Purrazzo over so much on commentary. Because of how smart the work she's doing is. Now, Havok's managed to fight out. She's going to go for a splash in the corner. Oh, to go straight into the ring post. Deonna Purrazzo just sidestepped, threw her straight into the ring post, and now once again is going after that injured shoulder. She is dissecting Havok, as D'Lo Brown is saying on commentary. Dissecting. And Deonna Purrazzo, I mean, she really is. I mean, if you appreciate psychology in wrestling matches, if you appreciate just smart wrestling, smart storytelling, all that kind of stuff, then you really do appreciate what Deonna Purrazzo does. But Havok's starting to fight back. Oh, Deonna Purrazzo, thrust to the throat. Hits the ropes. Havok's going to try something. Deonna Purrazzo managed to roll through it, or she's going to go for, big clothesline by Havok. Goes for a cover. Deonna Purrazzo is going to kick out there, kicks out at 2. I'm surprised though. I mean, I thought it would be difficult to have a match where the psychology is the much smaller wrestler in Deonna Purrazzo. You know, they've turned Havok somehow into the underdog babyface, despite being the much larger and stronger competitor. I mean, it's pretty good psychology. Pretty smart psychology anyway. The only thing I suppose that some people would say about this match so far is, but again, it comes down to, I guess, appreciation of psychology. Havok went for a stomp, but Deonna Purrazzo rolls out the way. She's going for another one, rolls out the way. Is that the pacing has been quite slow in this one. Reverse elbow by Deonna Purrazzo. Now Purrazzo's going to hit the ropes once again. It was just caught by Havok. Just slammed to the mat. Boston Crab. Boston Crab by Havok. I mean, I think that looks Boston Crabs. I don't know if you've ever if you've got siblings or if you've got friends and you ever used to do a bit of fun pro wrestling when you were young or whatever, you know that Boston Crab legitimately hurts. I mean, it really legitimately hurts. It really does. Lee Louch says, okay, my last question. Choose one wrestler or tag team from AEW you want to see feud with someone in Impact and choose who. Do the same as well with New Japan instead of AEW as well. A wrestler that I would want to see face someone from AEW and Impact? It depends. It really does depend. I always like the idea of doing a Moxley Sami Callihan feud. I think that's fun, given their history in CZW and Switchblade Conspiracy. I think that's a lot of fun. As far as New Japan and someone in Impact, I just want to see. I mean, the list goes on. You could have Okada, Ibushi, Naito, Jay White, Tanahashi, all of those guys coming over to Impact. I mean, face anyone would be awesome. Would be a lot of fun. Well, Kimberly's up on the apron, so is Susan. Well, Havok's just kicked Susan and Kimberly off. Purrazzo goes for a crossbody, but she's been caught by Havok. Oh, Deonna Purrazzo manages to float over. What's she going to go for? Oh, it's chopping Havok down. Kicks to the back of the leg. She's going to try and get in the Fujiwara armbar. She's got it. It's locked in. Or Havok manages to roll through. Deonna Purrazzo knocks through. Oh, knee to the face by Havok. Go for it again. Oh, another kick to the face by Havok. Is Deonna Purrazzo going to be on the ropes here? Oh, no. Deonna Purrazzo gets back to her feet. Oh, pump kick in the corner. Now going to try and go for that arm DDT. Does it now. She's going to roll through into the Fujiwara armbar. That's it. Fujiwara armbar. Is she going to tap out? She taps out. And Deonna Purrazzo retains the Knockouts Championship. We are 7 for 7 on the prediction. 7 for 7. Only 2 to go. Deonna Purrazzo retains the Knockouts Championship. It was an okay match. I mean, it was nothing to write home about. I don't think anyone probably expected it to be anything to write home about. It was a decent story in terms of breaking down the body part, working over the arm. I always say when it comes to title reigns is that what makes a title reign great is defenses against all kinds of different opponents. And I think that's what this match served tonight. It was a good title reign, good title defense against an opponent. I think that's what they were going for. But Deonna Purrazzo retains the Knockouts Championship, submitting Havok with the Fujiwara armbar. As we are 7 for 7 on the predictions. Can you believe it? So it looks like next we're going to get to the 6-man tag team match. So the main event is going to be the #1 Contenders match. So we're getting into the 2 co-main events of the evening. We're getting in the 6-man tag team match, which of course is Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers against Eddie Edwards and the Impact World Tag Team Champions, Finn Juice. And then also we're going to have the 6-man #1 Contender main event. Let's check the chat. Ace Austin is better than you says, why didn't Impact sign the Sea Stars? I don't know. I don't know if to answer your question. I think sometimes the case is with Impact, and we've spoken about this here on the channel before, is that the contractual situation with Impact is always very, very interesting, isn't it? Because it's always very interesting because some people are signed to long-term exclusive contracts. Some people are on part-time contracts. Some people aren't on any contract. Some people are on per appearance handshake deals. It's very up in the air. So maybe it was just a case of they didn't want to commit long-term. I don't know. Richard Cartley says, I have a feeling you will go 8 for 8. Well, yeah, my prediction for this one was that the Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers win. On top of that, I said that Kenny Omega will pin Eddie Edwards, I think, in this one. The one that I suppose could let me down is the main event. The main event, I predict the Moose becomes the #1 contender. But it's that remains to be seen. What's next is the 6-man tag team match. So coming up next is the 6-man tag team match. It's Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice. In this match, we've got representatives of Impact Wrestling, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling all in one match on an Impact Plus event. Are you kidding me? But here come Finn Juice, the Impact World Tag Team Champions. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Finn Juice. It's crazy. I mean, Juice Robinson is obviously he was. Oh man, I'm blanking on it. CJ Parker in NXT had Kevin Owens' first match on NXT television. NXT Takeover, was it Our Evolution 2014? Hits the palm thrust to Kevin Owens' face. Kevin Owens' nose explodes, gets a broken nose on his first night. And he always had a limit in NXT, and he realized it. He realized that he had a limit in NXT, and he was never going to get above it. So goes to New Japan and just has great success over there. From IWGP United States Champion, I believe. Great promo as well. And then you've got David Finlay in there, son of FITE. See in the chat, Slicey Dicey says, Omega wearing all the belts and looking like a walking trash can made me laugh very loudly. Mega Flint says, my mind is blown. Havok tapped out. Well, it's all about putting over Deonna Purrazzo, isn't it? You've got to keep establishing Deonna Purrazzo so that the babyface that eventually defeats her gets put over to the next level. It's pro wrestling is what it is, isn't it? So here comes Eddie Edwards, the heart and soul of Impact Wrestling, as they like to say. Former, was it two-time Impact World Champion in Eddie Edwards. I mean, nearly a year ago, right, Slammiversary, Eddie Edwards won the Impact World Championship for the second time, didn't he? Nearly a year later, not exactly, but close to a year later, he's teaming with New Japan Pro Wrestling's Finn Juice, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champion. How crazy 12 months can be. And here come the Good Brothers. It's funny as well, the Good Brothers, of course. The Good Brothers have now nearly been in Impact for nearly a year. And they still haven't competed in front of Impact Wrestling fans. I think they will, though, before they're finished in Impact, of course. Doc Gallows is wearing an earring. Karl Anson's plugging the merch. He's got his hat. And here comes Don Callis. I love Don Callis' music. It's so funny. Don Callis' music, which is traditional wedding music. It's so funny. I love it. The Invisible Hand. He's going to do his great Kenny Omega introduction. Don Callis comes out, looks at the screen, and it's a giant picture of his face, and he's staring at himself. How great is that? And here he comes himself, easy for me to say. The AEW World Champion, the AAA Mega Champion, the Unified Impact World Champion, the best bout machine himself, Kenny by God Omega. Did they just cut out Don Callis? I thought Don Callis was going to do a big introduction, and they haven't done it. I guess not. I think they cut out Don Callis' introduction. Oh, now he's doing it. I was going to say, now he's going to do it. He's not wearing all the belts tonight. He's carrying the Impact and TNA World Heavyweight Championships. He's wearing the AEW World Championship. Now he's doing his Gotch Hackenschmidt and all this kind of stuff again, Don Callis. Bad News Allen. Nick Bockwinkel. So they all pale in comparison to Kenny by God Omega. I said again, when it comes to having fans in attendance, I hope that Kenny Omega competes in front of an Impact Wrestling crowd, because I know for Impact Wrestling specific fans, and people will say, "Oh, there's not Impact Wrestling specific fans." There really are. There is a pocket of fans that only watch Impact and they don't watch WWE or AEW because they like what they like and they don't like what they don't like. They'd love to go to an Impact Wrestling event and see Kenny Omega there. They'd love to see that. Who wouldn't? Slicey Dicey said that was a very bad edit with cutting off Callis' promo. They definitely cut something off. I thought initially they'd cut off Kenny Omega's introduction, but I think they certainly cut off a promo. There's no doubt about Nathan Wallace says, Kenny Omega, the winner of more Psycho Wars than many in wrestling, and has injured more wrestlers than anybody in the history of wrestling. Has he injured people? I don't know about that. I don't know if he's injured people. I mean, Kenny Omega technically is dealing with an injury. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury for a long time. I believe he said before that realistically, he should and he will at some point have to get surgery on his shoulder. But he just, with the way that his career was going at this period of time and all of the things that he's doing for AEW, Impact Wrestling, AAA, he was like, I just don't have the time to get the surgery that I need at the moment. So essentially what he does, again, I think he's got either a torn labrum or a bad rotator cuff or something like that. Basically, he says like at least once or twice a week he has to go to his a physical therapist and get his shoulder worked on because he just doesn't have the time at the moment to get the surgery that he needs. So whenever in a match, if you see Omega holding his shoulder or favoring his shoulder, it's because legitimately he does have a really bad shoulder that eventually he will need to get surgery for. So credit to Kenny Omega for having a shoulder that does need surgery, and yet he's still willing to work all these commitments for AEW and Impact and AAA. So it's Karl Anderson and David Finlay starting off this one. And Don Callis is lingering on the outside, the invisible hand. One thing, I'm a big fan of Don Callis. I'm a big fan of Don Callis' mic work. I do kind of miss having him on commentary, though. He was a great commentator for Impact, New Japan, even as Cyrus the Virus in ECW days. Don Callis on commentary is great. I used to love listening to the English commentary for New Japan for Don Callis. He was that good. Ace Austin is better than you, says Seth Rollins is the real reckless one. Remember him injuring John Cena's nose, also forcing Sting to retire because of his turnbuckle bomb. I don't necessarily think the Sting thing was necessarily his fault. I think Sting shouldn't have been taking those kind of moves anyway. It was unfortunate though. I mean, he had the John Cena nose, and then he had the Finn Balor injury and the Sting one. There was a period of time where certainly people were looking at Rollins in a different light because of it. Slicey Dicey says, Omega is a god. He's the reason I started watching AEW. Jericho, the Bucks, etc. made me stay. Omega is what made me start watching Impact. So there you go. So proof that the AEW and Impact Wrestling working relationship has worked. So David Finlay and Juice Robinson are working over Karl Anderson in the middle of the ring. And Juice Robinson body slams his tag team partner onto Karl Anderson. And kicks out at 2. So my prediction was for this one that Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers get the victory. And my prediction also was that Kenny Omega pins Eddie Edwards to get the victory. So we'll see if I can go 8 for 8 in the prediction so far. 8 for 8. As David Finlay still working over Karl Anderson. What a crazy year it's been for the Good Brothers as well. Obviously, like I said, they debuted for Impact last July at Slammiversary. The day of Slammiversary, it was revealed that they had signed with Impact. That was the big reveal. Since then, obviously, they've been Impact Tag Team Champions. They've had 2 Talk and Shopper Manias on FITE TV. I watched the first one live. It was great. It was hilarious. I haven't watched the second one, I don't think. Oh, I might have. I watched part of it, I remember. But I definitely watched the first one. It was great. In comes the big LG, Doc Gallows, who is working over Juice Robinson. Gonna whip Robinson off the ropes. Robinson's able to fight back. Oh, Robinson's now going to do a bit of... Is he going to go for a bit of Dusty Rhodes? Oh. Gets cut off by LG. Steve G says, if you're talking about unsafe wrestlers in the ring, you're talking about Nia Jax. Wow. I would tend to agree. The Nia Jax thing, I've spoken about this before here. Is she unsafe? I don't know if that's necessarily fair. I definitely think she doesn't know her own strength. I think that's fair. She doesn't know her own strength, and when she's going to get smaller people, there's a history there, isn't there? Slicey Dicey says, if you go for 9 for 9, does that say you're wicked smart or that Impact's booking is very predictable? It's got to be wicked smart, right? It's got to be wicked smart. I don't know. Maybe it's that these kind of Impact Plus shows can be slightly predictable. I don't think many people would have predicted the Knockouts tag team titles changing. That was kind of trying to put 2 and 2 together with some of the reports and all that kind of stuff. Certainly proved Fightful's report to be accurate, so good for Fightful. They've got a very good reputation, though. Fightful are very good. They tend to, whatever they post, if it's something they're exclusively reporting, tends to be pretty much spot on. They've got a very good track record. Juice Robinson's tagged in. Oh, right hand to Karl Anderson. Hivation says, Owen, I think Chelsea Green is going to watch Deonna match. Wow. She probably will. I think Laurel Van Ness is going to return to Impact Wrestling at the first opportunity, which will probably be Slammiversary in July. So Juice Robinson, body slam onto Karl Anderson. Oh, and a senton. Jumping senton by Juice Robinson. He was happy with himself. He's celebrating. And broken up by Kenny Omega. We still haven't seen any Kenny Omega in this match so far. Ace Austin is better than you, says Sami Callihan has only had to mess up one eye, has only had one mess up from my knowledge, which is when he injured Eddie Edwards' eye, which was unfortunate but also a blessing in disguise since Eddie made a storyline around it. Well, not only did they make a storyline around it, it just completely changed the Eddie Edwards character, didn't it? It changed his character completely, turned him into a more of a hardcore style wrestler. And it's a storyline that they still, carry on to do to this day, isn't it? So, like you said, it was maybe it was a blessing in disguise. But Kenny Omega is in. We've now got Kenny Omega versus Eddie Edwards inside of an Impact Wrestling ring. If you'd have said this was going to happen 12 months ago, people would have said you're crazy. Omega whips Edwards off the rope. Oh, Edwards now going to go for it. Drops down on Kenny Omega. Ducks under. Oh, reverse atomic drop. And a belly-to-belly throw by Eddie Edwards on Kenny Omega. Nice. Oh, kicks out at 2. So Eddie Edwards versus Kenny Omega. It's a unique match, isn't it? Unique match, and certainly people didn't think they were going to see. And now David Finlay is in with Kenny Omega. This is what's great about having Kenny Omega. In the Impact ring, is that they just can work with people that you never thought he would have faced off against before, unless obviously it was in an AEW environment. Whether that is Eddie Edwards or even now, Kenny Omega's in there with Juice Robinson and David Finlay. Kenny Omega's back in there with New Japan Pro Wrestlers again. All these years later, already, he's back with the New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers. I wonder what the relationship is like right now with Kenny Omega and New Japan, because for a period of time after him leaving, it really wasn't good. There were some rumors, weren't there, about him being held up at the airport, not being allowed entry to Japan. There were some real bizarre stories. Basically, Omega left, obviously, New Japan when his contract came up. He was world champion and he dropped the title, and contract came up, and by all accounts, New Japan really weren't happy about it. And then he worked a show with Rio for, I can't remember which Japanese promotion, but he worked a show with Rio for a Japanese promotion. This was before the pandemic. This was probably like early 2020 or the end of 2019. And he couldn't get in the country or something ridiculous. And it's like, does New Japan have that influence? What happened there? I remember it was crazy. Anyway, Kenny Omega just hit a baseball slide onto Juice Robinson, who crashed into a guardrail at ringside. Nathan Wallace says, Kenny Omega is the #1 ranked pound-for-pound global heavyweight champion in the world. He's the bout collector, the champion of champions, and the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, AEW Impact AAA. That's a pretty damn good intro, Nathan Wallace. You should write Don Callis' promos. It's very impressive. Nicholas Jurasin says, what do you think about the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle in another Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing, even though the Inner Circle will be down one member with Jericho's injured elbow? Wow. yes and no. Obviously, I would assume, a bit like the other Stadium Stampede match, is that it will be pre-taped and shot in a cinematic style. If that's the case, they can shoot around Jericho's injury. That's one thing. My feeling on it is that they don't need to do it. I would have hoped that the final element of that feud would have been the blood and guts match. That's how you finish any type of feud, is you do a big match like that. They didn't really go with that, did they? Now they're going the Stadium Stampede. The Stadium Stampede last year was great and really enjoyable, don't get me wrong. My question would be now is how does it work, considering that at Double or Nothing, we've got a sellout attendance. We've got 5,500 people there, and if it's shot cinematic and if it's shot in the stadium that's adjacent to Daly's place, that means that 5,500 people are going to have to watch a match that's pre-taped on a big screen. Are they going to react to that really great? How is that going to work out? I don't know. So I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I think it's slightly different. It's different to last year. So we'll see what happens there. Hivation says, oh, and I heard people saying Impact Wrestling was getting moved to a different channel. I don't know. I doubt it, to be honest. Richard Cartley said, so a wrestler that works for New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's an Impact Tag Team Champion, against a wrestler that works for and is AEW Champion in an Impact Wrestling ring. Exactly. Simple, right? Very simple. Very simple. ASOS is better than you says, I think Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice will win this. Because Sharkboy said so. Said Kenny Omega stands for AEW, so I don't like seeing him win since I'm Team Impact all the way. Impact will win this war. Well, I don't think it's a war. I mean, it's a working relationship. So if it's a war, they're working together in this. So we've got Juice Robinson and Karl Anderson in the ring right now. Juice Robinson, reverse atomic drop. Or inverted atomic drop, shall I say. Or Karl Anderson, though. It's got a sleeper or side headlock. Beautiful belly to back suplex by Juice Robinson. Looks like he's going to go for the hot tag. I mean, just think about it as well. Imagine you'd have said this not 12 months ago, but say like 14, 15 months ago. You'd have the Good Brothers teaming with Kenny Omega to face David Finlay and Juice Robinson, who are going to be part of New Japan Pro Wrestling but Impact Tag Team Champions inside of an Impact Wrestling ring, teaming with Eddie Edwards. You'd be like, what, the Good Brothers are with WWE and all this kind of stuff? Just, it's amazing. It's amazing. David Finlay, oh, reverse uppercut. David Finlay now second rope's going to go for, oh, beautiful reverse uppercut. That was beautiful. Oh, it's broken up by Kenny Omega before he could get a 3 count on Karl Anderson. Kenny Omega's now calling spots in the ring. I'm not sure what they're planning. Hivation says, you think Shida should have invaded Stardom Wrestling for another bout after Britt Baker? No, I think Shida will continue in AEW. I don't think they'll do anything like that. Douglas Scott says, what is a Stadium Stampede? It's there's was it TIAA Stadium, which is the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is owned by the Khan family. It's a cinematic match where two factions basically just brawl all over the arena. They had it last year with the Elite and the Inner Circle. It was a really fun match. Very good. A question, would you rather get given a wedgie or speared by a pro wrestler? Also, have you ever been given a wedgie out of curiosity? Why? Why? I mean, I'm not sure. Not sure where you're going with that one. Atomic Ultimate Pool 2.0. I'm not sure. Does the atomic have to do with the wedgie? I mean, it's a strange thing to bring up during Under Siege, to be honest. Very, very strange. Nicholas Jurison, do you think AEW is going to do a match with the Elite versus the Bullet Club? I think it would be amazing if they do. I don't know. You can't rule it out. You can't rule it out. You can't rule it out. As the only thing that will get in the way of that is the relationship between AEW and New Japan. It's strengthening. In the past, I would have said no, but who knows? King Sanchez says, can't wait for the main event. Me either. We're going to find out who the #1 contender is for the Impact World Championship, which is very exciting. As Doc Gallows is working over David Finlay, he's in the wrong corner right now. As Gallows is, beautiful suplex. Goes for a cover. Finlay kicks out at 2. And again we've got another Another side headlock. I've seen a ton of these side headlocks tonight. Grab a hold. Grab a hold. That's what it's been tonight. Grab a hold. Really fun pacing, though. It's just the thing with six-man tag team match. They can be, if you get it right, because there are a lot of moving parts, but if you get it right and you time all of your spots, all that kind of stuff, it can be a lot of fun. David Finlay, crossbody. It's crossbody. Gallows is down. Now we're going to go for a hot tag, I think, once again. See a replay. It's a jumping crossbody, and Gallows just took a massive bump for that one. JB Burnett says, your thoughts on Jon Moxley, Yuji Nagata match? I thought it was well done, just the right amount of time, and the respect by show at the end was very touching. Well, it was. I think I think the respect at the end was great. I enjoyed Moxley coming out to Wilde thing. I was a tribute to another Japanese wrestler, wasn't it? I thought it was well done. And obviously the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship belt is one of the best looking title belts in pro wrestling right now. It really is. It was second to the former IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship, which they merged and then replaced with the worst title. That new World Heavyweight Championship is just not good. Not good. But I enjoyed it. And I hope we get more US Championship matches on Dynamite. I really enjoy that. Eddie Edwards kick to the head. Edwards going to the top rope. Oh, jumps over Kenny Omega. Omega's going to now hit the ropes. Oh, so does Edwards. Oh, misdirection. Blue Thunder Bomb. Oh, nearly dropped Omega right on his head. Stacked him up. Oh, Omega kicks out. Hivation says, and I was cooking during Josh Alexander match. Who won? He retained his X Division Championship. Ace Austin is better than you. Said, what's happening? Is Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice winning? Well, we've got Eddie Edwards and Kenny Omega. Oh, beautiful Hurricane Runner by Kenny Omega and Eddie Edwards. The Good Brothers just knock Finn Juice off the apron. Oh, nice kick to the face of Eddie Edwards by Karl Anderson. Gallows is now going to go for a splash in the corner. Edwards moves. Edwards has now got... Eddie Edwards has just Irish whipped, Boston Irish whipped Omega into Gallows. Gallows and Omega are stacked up in the corner, and Finn Juice are doing a pair of splashes to him. What's it going from? Tiger Bomb. Nice by Eddie Edwards on Kenny Omega. Oh, Omega kicks out at 2. Beautiful Tiger Bomb by Eddie Edwards. Oof. Oh, Tiger Driver, Tiger Bomb. It's Tiger Bomb, isn't it? Either way, that was a great move. Kenny Omega kicks out, though. Omega and Edwards still in the ring together right now. Thank you, JB Burnett. Yes, it was Moxley's Wild Thing tribute was to Anita, the barbed wire deathmatch legend. That's why he wore the jacket at AEW Revolution. That was the same tribute. Oh, V-trigger knee by Kenny Omega to Juice Robinson. Snapdragon suplex. Snapdragon suplex to Eddie Edwards. Omega's just taken control. Nice. Doc Gallows is on the back of Kenny Omega. Oh, big splash. Gallows is on the back. 2. Oh, broken up by Finn Juice. It's such a funny triple team, isn't it? Having Doc Gallows on the back of Omega and then Karl Anderson splashing him onto it. It's just it's the disrespect. Eddie Edwards is in the ring with all 3 guys, though. Doesn't look good. Triple team back suplex by Gallows onto Eddie Edwards. Is this going to be it? 2. Oh, Eddie Edwards kicks out. Gallows tags back in Anderson. They're going to go, looks like they're setting up for the Magic Killer. Sets up for the Magic Killer. In comes David Finlay, attacks Karl Anderson. What are they trying now? Oh. RG was going to try for another Magic Killer. Didn't work out. Oh, double suplex by Finn Juice. It was actually by Juice Robinson and Eddie Edwards. Hits the Omega with a kick to Eddie Edwards. Counter's going to go for a Snapdragon suplex on Juice Robinson. Such a great move, isn't it? Oh, my God. Eddie Edwards just hit a lariat on Kenny Omega. Omega just nearly landed on his head. Oof. Karl Anderson hits a version of a TKO on Eddie Edwards. Oh, Eddie Edwards kicks out of that. Yeah, it was a TKO. I thought it was a TKO by Anderson on Eddie Edwards. Kicks out, though. Anderson now sizing up Eddie Edwards. What's he going to go for? Goes for the gun stun. Oh, manages to fight out of it, though, but a forearm. Goes for another gun stun on David Finlay. Doesn't work. Oh. Oh, stunner. Stunner by David Finlay. What are they planning? Oh, David Finlay just jumps onto Gallows on the outside. Oh, version of an unprettier. Version of an unprettier by Juice Robinson on Karl Anderson. Jumps to the outside onto Kenny Omega. Oh, Boston knee party. Boston knee party on Karl Anderson. Is this going to be it? 2, 3. Well, I was wrong. My prediction's wrong. Eddie Edwards pins Karl Anderson. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice get the victory. Eddie Edwards pins Karl Anderson. My predictions have been ruined. Oh, can't believe it. Surprising outcome. I don't see the purpose there unless they're going to build to a Kenny Omega Eddie Edwards match, maybe. But the Good Brothers lose again in Impact Wrestling. The streak is over. That's very surprising. Did not see that outcome coming. I thought if I was gonna slip up, it would be in the main event. Slicey Dicey said the streak is broken. Yes. Surprised with this one. But once again, the Good Brothers lose a match that involves Finn Juice. Karl Anderson eats another pinfall. He eats a ton of pinfalls, Karl Anderson. Very surprising. If you're surprised by the outcome of that one, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Slicey Dicey says they've been teasing some dissension with Anderson. Wonder if it leads to something. Possibly. Possibly. Very surprising outcome. Fun match. Fun match. I always thought we were leading to Kenny Omega getting the pinfall for his team. I mean, does it put Eddie Edwards in position for an Impact World Championship opportunity? I mean, he won a match that involved the Impact World Champion. But obviously, we're going to have a number one contenders match next. So, that's interesting. So, obviously, it's going to be main event time next. But it's a big victory for Impact Wrestling, that. As D'Lo Brown. So we're going to get the tag team title match on Thursday. Finn Juice versus Ace Austin, Madman Fulton is happening on Thursday night on Impact Wrestling on Access TV. So the main event is up next. Of course, it's the number one contenders match for the Impact World Championship. We're going to find out who challenges Kenny Omega next, even though Eddie Edwards was just involved in a match with the Impact World Champion, which he won. So what's happening there? So main event time, who do we think is going to be the number one contender for the Impact World Championship? What do we think? Let me know in the live chat your predictions for this main event. Who are you going for? Who do you think is going to be Kenny Omega's next challenger? Because Shark Boy said so, said, quote, I don't want to say quote, said the last match is going to be an instant classic, and that's the fishing line because Shark Boy said so. You know, if Shark Boy said so, we know it's factually accurate. And he's going to slam a clam juice and drink it down. Vic Thompson said, it happened, buddy. The Wood Wrestling Show, time for the main event. I bet you $500 that either Sami Callihan or Chris Sabin will win the match. I will take the bet, but I will not pay $500. Are you willing to put $500 of your own money on the line that Sami Callihan or Chris Sabin are going to win? Slicey Dicey says Sami Callihan. King Sanchez says Moose or Sami Callihan. A lot of Sami Callihans. A lot of people saying Sami Callihan's going to win this one. My prediction's Moose. My prediction is that Moose is going to leave the number one contender for the Impact World Championship. Vic Thompson says Sami Callihan as well. So lots of people saying Sami Callihan, which is interesting. Do people have insider information? Is that what's going on here? But first out is none other than Sami Callihan. The favourite, people are saying. Even Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown on commentary said that Sami Callihan was the favourite. Richard Cartledge says, I predict the winner of the main event will be a man. I think that is probably the best prediction of the night so far. I think that is spot on. I think that's probably going to be the outcome. As far as I'm aware, Deonna Purrazzo is not in the main event for this one, even though she could and she would win and she would beat Kenny Omega. She's that good. But I think you're right. I think it will be a man. I think it'll be the man. Becky Lynch returning to Impact Wrestling. Slicey Dicey says, feels like Moose would have to win if he faced Omega. I don't think they're done with Omega as champion. Well, my feeling is that Moose wins. Moose wins tonight. He then faces Kenny Omega against all odds. That is a title versus career match, because obviously Moose's contract expires in June, and obviously against all odds is in June. This could be. I mean, this week's TV tapings could be the last TV tapings. This could be the last TV tapings for Moose this coming week. Here comes Chris Bay. Give me Moose versus Moose. Give me Kenny Omega versus Chris Bay. Now that's a money match. That would be an absolute money match, and that would be a lot of fun to watch. Jamie Burnett says, Andrade has been challenging Omega for the AAA Championship. I believe Omega will drop that title to Andrade at Triple Mania, and that will begin a downward spiral. I think Moose is your next Impact champ. I think that's a pretty good prediction. That's not a bad prediction at all. Steve G says Moose. Warren says Sami. Ace Austin is better than you says, I honestly don't know. Almost everyone is a good choice except Trey Miguel. Ace Austin is better than you. He's not a fan of Trey. Jason Storfer says, Moose or Sami? I think Moose shows up at a wrestling pay-per-view at the end of the month to take his title. Mick Thompson says, Sami Callihan, #1 contender. Bobby Roode's home is Impact, says Sami Callihan. Slicey Dicey said, that's true on the Moose contract thing. I forgot about that. Yep, Warren. Moose's contract is up in June. And because Sharp Boy said so, said I don't know. It'll either be Moose or Sami Callihan, and that's the fishing line. Because Sharp Boy said so. Matt Cardona's in the ring, and next comes Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel is in great shape, by the way. He had to. I don't know if you saw this. Trey Miguel on Twitter had to sort of tell the fans he's not on steroids. I never thought he was. I mean, if you've seen watch WWE in the late 80s, you could see people that are on steroids. Trey Miguel is not on steroids. People that think he was, he's not. He's just in better shape than he was previously. Just did a backflip in the ring. Did Trey? Oh, he tried it. He tried to do a flick where he landed the hat on his head. Didn't work. It was close. Here comes Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin in the old school tights as well. Old school Chris Sabin, early TNA days. I mean, who's to say it won't be Chris Sabin? I mean, that's the exciting thing about this match, is realistically anyone's a possibility. And Chris Sabin is a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I'm looking forward to the badass Moose entrance. Here it comes. One of the best entrances in pro wrestling today. This entrance by Moose is awesome. It's such a good entrance. Maybe not as good as Roman Reigns' entrance. That's with that new theme song. That's pretty amazing. But the Moose entrance is very, very good. There it is. And talk about someone that's in good shape right now. Moose is in amazing shape. physically best shape of his life. And he gets the last entrance. You give the big star the last entrance, and that is Moose. And the slow walk to the ring. You notice as well that, like, now that Moose is in a much physically a better shape, no more of the headband, no more of the big ring jacket and stuff like that. He realizes that he's looking like a star right now. So we're going to determine who's going to be the next #1 contender to Kenny Omega. And my prediction is Moose. But realistically, it could be anyone at this point. It really could be anyone. It could be Sami Callihan. It could be Trey Miguel. It could be Chris Sabin. It could be Mack Cardona. It could be Chris Bay. Or it could be Moose himself. Got a loaded main event. And to be honest, testament to the roster that Impact Wrestling has right now. You got 6 top quality talent here. Well, they're all surrounding Moose in the ring right now. They're all starting off in the ring, and Moose just big boot to the face of Sami Callihan. Matt Cardona just with a forearm to Moose. He just got absolutely clocked by Moose. Chris Bay's on the back of Moose as well. Moose another boot to the face of Chris Sabin. Just throws Chris Bay to the floor. Trey Miguel's going to hit the ropes. Goes for a crossbody, and Moose just catches him like he's nothing. Moose, beautiful fall away slam. And Moose does a kip up. Moose says he's the best wrestler in the world. Oh, super kick. Oh, no sows it. Chris Bay hits one. Oh, kicks out the knees. Oh, that's a double super kick to the face. And now Moose is to the outside. So Moose is off his feet and to the outside. And now we have Chris Bay and Chris Sabin. Sabin's going to roll through. Chris Bay to the ropes. Oh, and a drop kick. I mean, this is a money match in itself, isn't it? Chris Bay, Chris Sabin. That's a money match if I've seen one. Shoulder to the gut of Chris Sabin. Rolls through, does Chris Bay. Rolls through into a beautiful head scissors. Oh my God, he just drop kicked the head of Chris Sabin's shoulders. That was nasty by Chris Bay. Trey Miguel is now in with Chris Bay. Trey Miguel is quick. Man, the guy has an engine for absolute days. Now it's Sami Callihan in with Trey Miguel. Sami Callihan's now going for shoulder tackles. Oh, Sami Callihan just blew snot on Trey Miguel. I'm not sure that's COVID friendly. Oh. Oh, beautiful Death Valley driver by Sami Callihan onto Trey Miguel. He caught him in midair too. That was nice. Now it's Matt Cardona in with Sami Callihan. It's interesting. They've certainly placed this out nicely. Everyone's got their spots. They're coming in at their right times, which is what you've got to do in these multi-man matches. You've got to time everything out perfectly. Everyone's got to have their spots and get it completely right. Cardona, basement dropkick to Moose, sends Moose crashing into the guardrail. Sami Callihan's now on the apron. Oh, and a kick to the face of Cardona by Callihan, which got chopped down by Moose anyway. Sabin's now going to go. Oh, Sabin just nearly kicked Moose's head off. But Trey Miguel hits a springboard dropkick on Chris Sabin. This is just non-stop. It's just constantly go, go, go. Trey Miguel channels his Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena, pumps up his sneakers. And Sabin and Trey Miguel and Chris Bay dive to the outside. What a match so far. As we see Chris Bay and Trey Miguel both do dives over the top rope. Oof. Chris Bay and Trey Miguel as well. Oh, Sami Callihan just powerbombed Chris Bay on the apron. And Callihan just throws Chris Bay into the ring. Oh, reverse elbow by Chris Bay. Now it's going to go for the top rope. Oh, jumped to the top rope, and then Sami Callihan just sort of pushed Chris Bay, and he landed on the top sort of turnbuckle pole. That was nasty. And now Sami Callihan's stacking Cardona on top of Chris Bay. And what a chop. Sami Callihan's chops are just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now Callihan's going to go for... Oh, Chris Bay rolls through. Oh, into a superplex off the top rope. Nice spot. Chris Bay's laughing and smiling. Oh, and he gets a massive drop kick from Chris Sabin for his money. Coast to coast by Trey Miguel. Man, this match is nuts. It really is. This match is insane. Oh, rolls out. So now you've got Trey Miguel and Chris Sabin in there. It's difficult to keep up with this match. It's constant. Goes through and, oh, a beautiful reverse kind of DDT suplex. Rolls through into a dragon sleeper. But Moose has just caught Trey. I think he's going to go for it. Just throws Trey into the corner. Charges him. Oh, uppercut, man. Oh, and a drop kick to Chris Sabin. Chris Bay, they drop kick to Moose. Oh, was that a headbutt? Charges Bay in the corner, but Bay gets his feet up. Oh, standing drop kick. Now, Moose has got Trey Miguel on the top rope. We might be in another superplex scenario here. Chris Bay's on the other turnbuckle on the other corner. Moose falls down after Trey Miguel's manages to fight him down. You've got one corner, Trey Miguel's on the top rope. You've got another corner, Chris Bay's on the top rope. What are they thinking here? Moose has just jumped up to the top rope. The guy's athleticism is crazy. Superplex. Oh, frog splash on Chris Bay. The height that guy got as well. Incredible. Brian Hedmer counts. Oh, Sami Callihan's got a steel chair. Of course, it's no disqualifications. Michael Mike says, you see Samoa Joe back with Impact Wrestling. I think he goes to AEW, but I wouldn't rule out an appearance with Impact. That's what I would probably say. I wouldn't rule it out. Sami Callihan's got the steel chair in the middle of the ring. Looks like he's in control now after using that steel chair. What's Sami Callihan thinking now? He's going to go for... I think he was going to go for a flatliner or something on that steel chair, but Chris Bay's able to fight out. Bay goes for a pump kick. Oh, jumping knee. Jumping knee strike to the face of Sami Callihan. It's going to hit the ropes. Exploder suplex onto the chair by Sami Callihan. Chris Bay just gets absolutely nailed, or it's broken up by Mack Cardona. And that was nasty. Oof. Big thrust to the face by Sami Callihan. Cardona just face crusher onto the apron, onto the canvas rather. Oh, clothesline by Cardona. He's going to go for a broski boot. Oof. Goes for a cover and Callihan kicks out. Ace Austin is better than you says, I hope anyone else but Trey Miguel wins this match. Jamie Burnett says it would be interesting if Sami Callihan became Impact champ and Havok became Knockouts champ. It would be the first time that in Impact that husband and wife are world champions. Havok and Sami Callihan together? Is that the partnership? And it wouldn't be actually either. It would be Rich Swann and Su Yung were Impact World Champion and Knockouts champion. And of course they are together. Ace Austin is better than you said it'd be great seeing Chris Sabin as world champion once again. Sami Callihan would make a good world champion. Moose could make a great world champion. So Matt Cardona and Chris Bay could as well. Oof. Trey Miguel hits a beautiful move there on Chris Sabin. Oh, and just a spinning kick by Chris Bay onto Trey Miguel. Oh, discus clothesline by Moose. Just turns inside out. Oh, radio silence. Oh, Sami Callihan, low blow. Matt Cardona. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Well, who's coming out? It's the Good Brothers. Doc Gallows and Karl are coming out. They're attacking Sami Callihan. So what is going on here? The Good Brothers have come out. They're trying to cost Sami Callihan the match. Sami Callihan's perceived as a threat by all accounts by Don Callis. That's why the Good Brothers have attacked Sami Callihan. Oh, Chris Sabin kicked to the face of Matt Cardona. Gonna go for a cradle shock. Oh, cradle shock on Matt Cardona. This is gonna be it. Oh, it was gonna be a 3 count. I think Moose has just pulled the referee out the ring. It was gonna be a 3 count. Chris Sabin had the match won. Oh, Chris Sabin just dives onto Moose. Chris Sabin now fighting Moose in the middle of the ring. Moose is just too strong. Can't even do a Irish whip. Sabin's gonna go through. Goes for the roll. Shades of Jack Briscoe with that roll through. Oh, Moose just takes out the knee. The injured knee. The previously injured knees of Chris Sabin. On both knees were injury. Moose, went for another shot to the knee. Moose is going to target again. Moose, spear. Spear by Moose. This is going to be it. 1, 2, 3. And Moose gets the victory. And Moose is the #1 contender. Moose is the #1 contender. And Moose will be facing Kenny Omega for that Impact World Championship. The prediction right was 8 for 9. 8 for 9 on the predictions. I was this close. I was that close. I thought it was going to be. It was the one that got me wrong was the 6-man tag team bout. But Moose is the #1 contender. Oh, Sami Callihan's swearing. He's saying it's bullshit. He's not happy. Sami Callihan is furious. But Moose. So we're going to get Kenny Omega versus Moose at some point. Moose versus Kenny Omega. What do we feel about that one? And that is it. That is Impact Under Siege. Well, a very quick ending. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump off of this stream and go on to an Impact Under Siege reaction stream, which we'll jump on in a couple of seconds. So bear with me. We'll jump straight on there. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or have you come across this stream today. And we'll jump on the reaction stream in a couple of seconds.